There we go. Refill my water. Let's start. Smash that like button. Like everybody does. I appreciate you guys. All right. All right. Oops. Oh, arrange some stuff on the desk to move some stuff. Oh, whoa, Seabrew. Look at that. Oh, shiny green. God bless it all. All right. Good. Sorry, boys and girls. Let's get this party started. Because maybe some of that Canadian airs are starting to get down here as well. Just kidding. All right. Let's get started, shall we? How we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with the Comment Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And welcome to How Bad Could It Be Today, boys and girls? Pop culture news at random times, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back at it today. It is Monday. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. May the Lord bless you and keep you on this wonderful and fabulous day, beginning to most people's work week out there. And it's the same thing around here because the news cycle is up and running again, boys and girls. And it's been a lot of fun, as it always is around there. The weekend's going well. Odyssey seems to be doing quite well. We'll see how that second weekend drop works out next week. But other than that, you know, of course, Kevin Feige can't help but talk, right? And you got San Diego Comic-Con coming up, next week, right? So we're going to have a whole bunch of crazy things going on, or I guess technically starting this week or whatever. So we got crazy things. We know that Marvel's going to be back at Hall H this year. So Kevin Feige's out there making the rounds, and he simply cannot help himself out there. He's talking about dumb things. He's admitting the fact that, like, a Star Wars character out there that he always wanted, a particular actor out there he could just never get, boys and girls. It turned into an absolute disastrous dumpster fire. And personally, I thought that was really, 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 really funny. And it's just one of them situations where you're like, what did you expect to actually happen at the end of the day? And like, he's going out there on this press tour trying to make the best of a bad situation, saying everything's all fine and it's hunky dory. And you're looking at this going, I don't know, between Marvel like moving to Burbank out there and everything else, I'm not entirely sure. So we'll have to see how it goes. But if you hadn't heard, the latest Avengers Doomsday trailer dropped today as well, boys and girls. So we'll definitely have to check that out and see what's going on with all of that, because that, of course, is going to end up being a lot of fun. Undeniably, there's some fun things going on out there. Kevin Feige's admitting failure when it comes to the Blade movie, which, hey, I think all of us can kind of agree with him on that one, right? Didn't exactly work out so well. Surprisingly enough, the people that Kevin Feige had hired over the past 5 to 10 years somehow couldn't figure out a vampire killing movie. So yeah, that's going to be fun to talk about as well. And then, of course, there's a whole bunch of fun stuff going on out there with DC. As per usual, lots of people running their mouths. Zack Snyder's talking about stuff. Things are changing. Things are moving forward. And so it should be a good time. But, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to say hi to all of you fabulous folks out there in the chat here in just a second. We're going to start the morning off with, afternoon. We're going to start the show off with a quick prayer real quick, and then we'll say hi to all of you fabulous folks out in the chat and jump right into the news. How does that sound, boys and girls? Let's get into it. Alrighty. Lord, we come before you humbly grateful today for all the beautiful blessings that you give us, both seen and unseen. And Father, thank you very much for this joyous Monday. Let us do your good work today, Father. Fill us with your strength and your spirit and your hope and your wisdom, so we can see through all of the insanity and all of the noise that these crazy, demonically infested institutions that some people call the mainstream media are filled with. Father, let us see through the nonsense. Let us see through the BS, and let us find your truth and put it out there into the world, Father. All glory to you and your Son, Jesus Christ. Let our works here today be dedicated to you, and let us all our works and all the things we do. As God has declared, so say we all. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Oh, and look after all of our Canadian and up there our northern Yankee friends that are dealing with all that smoke out there too, Father. Let that be resolved quickly, and let the people responsible for it, let them find your justice, Father. Let them find your justice. As God has declared, so say we all. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. And all God's people said, amen. Alrighty, let me say hi to all of you fabulous folks out there in the chat, and then we'll jump right into it. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let me pull out the Pilled chat too real quick in case anybody pops out or pops in from over on Pilled. We appreciate our Pilled family. We are live on Blaze, Pilled, YouTube, of course, Rumbo, Kick, which I think I forgot to change the name on it. And yeah, Twitch as well. So there you go. There you go. It's fun. Smash that like button if you haven't already, boys and girls. Whatever platform you are on, you know what button it is. You know what button it is. Alrighty. Stoner Purpose Cuber. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, our favorite polar bear, our favorite little bear out there in the whole wide world. Good to see you. It says, how humans and other critters. Hello, how Stoner Purpose Cuber. Good to see you, bear. Good to see you, bear. Hail and glad you met. Good to see you. Good to see you. Is anyone here yet? John Marshman says, not yet. Good to see you, John. Good to see you, brother. Glad you made it in. I appreciate John. I appreciate John. Sometimes he'll just come in and pop in a like and run off on the live streams, but John likes to leave comments on the videos, and hey, that stuff makes a world of difference. We'll be recording some of those today, and we'll be trying to get at least one out for you guys tonight at 6 o'clock for anybody that doesn't catch the full show today. And then we'll have a whole bunch of shorts and videos coming out. We'll have a whole bunch of shorts and videos and stuff coming out tomorrow. So it'll be a good time. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. And we got the Instagram. All of our shorts get put up on Instagram too. So you can go check out The Common Nerd over on Instagram as well. It might be $17.91, but I'll drop links for that anyway soon. Oh, but good to see you guys. Glad you made it in. Seabrew, another fine member of the Nerd Herd over on the YouTube side. Part of the Grease Between Our Gears. Keep this from sharing, which I could not do this without every single one of you. We are trying to get back to our 100 members across all of our platforms to keep the lights on around here indefinitely, boys and girls. So please consider becoming a member. It's only $5 or less, depending on what platform you're on, and we really do appreciate it. It's good to see you, Seabrew 1138. Good to see you, brother. Glad you made it in. Glad you made it in. Appreciate you very much. And Miss Glow says, hey, nerd. Hey, Miss Glow. How are you? Glad you made it in, sister. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good Monday, too. And yes, thank you, Snorter Purpose. Amen. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. Let me pull you guys out and stick you over there. Let's get this news whipped out here real quick. And there we go. So this I just thought was absolutely hilarious. And Mama should be heading home around 4 o'clock. So we got about until 4 to get some videos done. I want to get at least 2 done, preferably 3 today. And then we'll be back on Wednesday for some more. Does that sound good to everybody? So there you go. So that is the plan. That is the plan, boys and girls. Get enough to get us through Wednesday night and then come back Wednesday and we'll do another one of these. I'm trying to get back to doing 3 of these a day, 3 of these a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah. So, but Mrs. Common Nerd was completely off work on Friday. So we had all kinds of fun things that we were doing. Oh, hey, yeah. C Brew's doing dishes right now. So if he doesn't get back to you saying a hail or a hi, that's why. He's elbows deep in bubbles. And hey, I don't blame him. That's a good thing to do. You got to get them dishes done. It gets nasty if you don't. My children have learned that lesson. No worries at all, C Brew. Them dishes got to get done. So there you go. Yeah, I gotta have my 14-year-old. Gotta have Monkey get some work on some dishes this afternoon. So yeah. But good to see all of you guys. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. All right. So this I just thought was hilarious. Kevin Feige says Adam Driver has turned down so many Marvel reels over the years that it's become a tradition, but he would very much like to convince the Star Wars actor to join the MCU. I just thought that was really funny. And honestly, like if we just need a video to make, like if we just need a third one, like we can totally like worm a fun title out of that one of like, something along the lines of like, Star Wars actor tells Marvel to get stepping, or I don't know, something like this. Cause I think he's talked about this before in the past. So I don't know. We'd figure something out fun. Adam Driver would have been a good Mephisto. Yeah. Yeah. They've already got their Mephisto with Sacha Baron Cohen, which, to be fair, because for the love of God, Sunker and I watched that damn Ironheart show. I mean, at some point it got so bad it was laughable. So by like the end of the movie, at the end of the show, we were literally just laughing at it. It was so bad. But it wasn't one of those she got really angry all the time. It wasn't one of those that like super made her mad like some of the other ones have. Probably because she didn't give a shit about Ironheart. We already have a Mephisto inside the MCU, but considering we got Avengers Secret Wars coming and we got that new Doomsday trailer to check out, which I have not watched yet. I like to watch that stuff with you guys raw and unfiltered. Yeah, I mean, everything could be up for grabs at this point. So God only knows what they're going to do, because they ain't even got this movie figured out. Did you guys check out my last video? I know some of y'all did. Some of them had a lot of comments, and for some reason the algorithm still hates them. Yeah, that thing's a mess in the editing room right now. And I don't expect Secret Wars to be any different than Doomsday. So yeah. What up, Read by Nature? Good to see you, buddy. It says, hey, Common Company. Hey, Read by Nature. Good to see you. Yes, it was, John. Ironheart was terrible. It was bad, John. It really was. It really was. All I remember of Adam Driver is him playing an emo Sith wearing a lampshades. Yeah, I understand, Snortapoopus. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. I just respect him because he's a Marine. And I like the little jarhead. I think he's a good actor. I think just he got screwed over with that nonsense in Kathleen Kennedy Disney Star Wars. And so yeah. And I've seen him in other stuff. The guy's good. He just doesn't get a lot of great roles. So, but he's a working actor. He'll take pretty much anything except apparently Marvel. Like apparently Disney burned him so bad he never wants to work for them again, because like that makes no sense. Well, I mean, this guy's not like, he's not slamming home blockbusters right now. I mean, his last movie was like 300 AD or 300,000 BC or whatever it was. The little alien, or not alien, but the time travel dinosaur movie or whatever it was. I didn't see it. Based on the boxes, majority of people didn't see it. So it's like, no, so it's not like he's banking big Hollywood blockbusters right now, but he's just like, he was so burnt out by working for Disney during Star Wars. He's like, yeah, that's never going to happen again. Never not going to happen. Kevin Feige, you can kiss my big crayon eating marine ass. That's never going to happen there, buddy. So I love that. I absolutely love that. And I hope Adam Driver sticks to his guns unless they come up with some just absolutely phenomenal role for him. But I think I'm not sure he'd ever work for that company again. I really don't. And I don't blame him for it either. I really don't. From everything we've heard, I don't blame him. I would not blame him one bit if he just never wanted to work for Disney again. I wouldn't blame him one bit. Shadow Warden 99, another fine member of the Nerd Herd over on Rumble, says, "How dare you hate on Ironheart?" That's right. That television show, it saved lives. I apologize, Shadow Warden. You are so right. That show definitely saved lives, my friend. It definitely saved lives. Just like Eternals did. We don't know whose lives it saved, but it saved lives. So yeah, can't point to a single person whose life it actually saved, but it saved lives. So that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Shadow Warden. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Hashtag blame KK Snortopoopas. You are so right. He was also one of the few laughing at Gervais's jokes when he roasted Hollywood. Oh yeah, no, Adam's based. Like I had some liberal guys in the Air Force. I get that. I had an idiot tried to argue with me that Obama's lowest pay raise in the history of the military was better than nothing. By definition, he was right. I can't believe somebody was actually arguing that to my face that was in uniform in front of me. But like, I got this. Unless you're like a Marine officer, like if you were a grunt, which he was, like, I can't see how you'd be down with any of the insanity. You know what I mean? Like, find me a Marine grunt who you're going to be able to convince that girls and boys can be the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those. There's a certain type of person that becomes a Marine. You know what I mean? And that gets reinforced in boot camp with the Marines. So God bless them. I love them to death. But I think there's one of them situations where it'd be a hell of a hard find. And if you find one, he's got to be, it'd be hard pressed to find one that wasn't an officer to find me a woke Marine. Seriously. So yeah. Decon the Rat. There you go. Driver is also one of the prominent names that turned down Reed Richards' role. Oh yeah. He doesn't want to work for Marvel. Probably took one look at that script and went, fuck you. There you go. Shadow War 9 says the last movie I watched with Adam Driver was Silence from 2016. Yeah, so like I said, it's not like he's slamming home, big budget movies left and right. Whatever kind of residual. I mean, who knows? Who knows what he's got going on? Ain't none of our business, but I'm sure he's clearly doing just fine. He's also a Marine. He also knows how to live with absolutely nothing too, except his bag of crayons and his whoopee. So like, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. And I love that. I respect that. I respect the guy. I've never seen anything. He has never given me a reason to not like him. You know what I mean? I don't know how the hell I got a hold of a Kylo Ren shirt, and maybe I bought it for the very first movie, and that movie was so shit, it just never got thrown away, but it always kept getting recycled into my dirty laundry. But hell, I might keep the damn thing out of just respect for him. Not the character, though. But, God, I don't know. I should probably throw the damn thing away. I've never worn it. I don't think I've worn it since, like, back then. Maybe the higher brass, but the rank and file is not woke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Bear. Absolutely, buddy. So, yeah, absolutely snort purpose. There's no way, dude. There's just no way. You know what I mean? Like, you literally, I don't think you could do that with a jarhead. There's no way, man. They'd smack you with their crayon box and tell you to get out of their tent. If they even had a tent. This is... This should have everybody really nervous about the future of the MCU. I just want to put this out there, right? Because this is what Kevin Feige says, right? Kevin Feige says, because he must have had a lot to say in that recent interview right before San Diego Comic-Con. And boys and girls, if you know the state of modern comics, then I'm sure you'll be super excited about what Mr. Feige has to say here. Kevin Feige says he wouldn't see the MCU rebooting after Avengers Secret Wars. Oh, so now we're confirming it is a reboot then. In Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars from 10 years ago, there's a nice roadmap to where we can go. You know, the Marvel Comics company that is abandoning its roots and all of its founding offices and the streets that it grew up on in New York City and moving to Burbank, California, so they can be right next to the Disney offices. You know, that decade that has driven Marvel Comics to that state of irrelevancy. Yeah. That's the roadmap. Kevin Feige's gonna go forward with the MCU. And just think, at one point, I actually had hope some of this might turn out okay after the reboot. Yeah, what a sweet summer child I was. But hey, like I always say, just listen to them. They'll tell you exactly what they're going to do. And this is gonna be bad. Oh, dear God. Oh, there you go. Says, if you want to watch how Christians were treated in feudal Japan, I enjoyed that movie. Oh, is that the name of that one that he did? I remember he did a movie in feudal Japan. I didn't see it, but I do remember that. That's wild. Well, there you go. That does sound like fun. That might be a good one to throw on the Is It Good train. I like that Shadow Word 99. I like that. The t-shirt might make good kindling. That is fair, Cuber. That is very fair. That is very fair. God, that is horrifying to think about. We're going to use the recent Marvel Comics. Last 10 years of Marvel Comics. That's what we're going to use for the future. God, he's insane. He can't be stupid. You don't make it to that kind of level. Kevin Feige can't be stupid. You can't make it to that kind of level of any company and be legitimately stupid. So at this point, he's just got to be insane, right? Like, how can you decide to look at Marvel Comics and the state of those numbers and what has happened to that over the last decade and go, yeah, that's the roadmap we're going to follow. That's going to work out great. Like, Marvel Comics is basically belly up. If it wasn't attached to the Disney Corporation, it would be bankrupt at this point. And that's the roadmap. We're going to go. That's the definition of insanity. Kevin Feige, you're insane. Like, you're literally going to follow the exact same roadmap with the exact same characters and stories that failed miserably and made it to where you got to do like 17 variations of a cover just to get a comic book sold. That Marvel, Kevin Feige, is what you're going to follow. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. Oh, we already know, because it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, thinking it's going to work. This time I can make it happen. This time it'll make it happen. Oh, just crack a few more eggs. Oh, we gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. It'll be all right. I can make it work. Utopia will be coming. We will have Marvel Utopia. Kevin Feige can make it happen. He's insane. This is never going to work. God Signpost, another fine member of the Nerd Herd over on Rumble. Good to see you, brother. Glad you made it in. This is good afternoon, y'all. Good afternoon, God Signpost. Glad you made it in, buddy. Glad you made it in. Marvel Comics is moving to California. You can look forward to comics about tent cities and human feces on the pavement. Nice read. Very nice. I still say whatever X-Men action we see in Doomsday with the Fox cast will likely be better than the reboot MCU X-Men. I can probably agree with you on that. I really probably can. So yeah. Autocorrect got me. That's not human fences on the streets of California. That's all right. I've been doing this long enough. I can autocorrect for autocorrect. I knew exactly what you meant, Reed. I got you, buddy. Eric D. Reed over on the Rumble sides. I saw St. Francis of Xavier's bones. Speaking of how Christians were treated in Japan. Hey, there you go. Wow. That's really cool, though. I'm glad you got to see that. That is really cool. St. Francis of Xavier's bones. That is really cool. That would be something. Like, I'm not even Catholic, and I'd absolutely go see a saint's bones if I had the chance. 100%. That's really cool. The idea of that is really cool. So, I love that. C. Bruce says, I'm not excited for anything from Marvel. Spider-Man does look okay, but all high sees it. I'm not giving Disney my money. That I don't blame you. To be fair, though, on the Spider-Man movie, the majority of your money would be going to Sony. That's also the same company that owns PlayStation and just announced they'd be killing physical discs in 2028. So maybe the Gary method, buy a ticket for another movie and go see it. But no, I get you, brother. I totally get you, man. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, cool. Shadow Warden says, well, the priests that went to Japan were Jesuits like Pope Francis. Okay, cool. There you go. Well, there you go. Right. Not surprised, though, right? 100%. 100%. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. They're just insane. Warhammer 40K is trending. Something must have got released. And this is just, oh, God, this is going to be horrible. They are, hey! Sebrew, a member of the Taurus Nerd level for 1 month over on the YouTube side, says OG PS5 for sale. SSD not included until 900 USD. F you, Sony. Ha ha! There you go. There you go, Sebrew. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. SSD not included, $900 US. F you, Sony. There you go. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. And I love it too. There was some report, because we've got a little bit of stuff over that. But there's a report out that like somebody used AI to analyze a bunch of the comments defending what PlayStation is doing. And they're like, we're not saying they're bots, but a lot of them have been suspiciously created in like the last couple of weeks. Don't have a lot of followers and almost exclusively are talking about the PlayStation stuff. So it kind of makes you think they might be bots. Or paid marketing folks out there. Paid marketing, or well, we didn't technically use a robot. Okay, you paid somebody who is essentially a bot farm, where you seen them pictures of the giant walls of cell phones and stuff. Yeah, okay, it's not nonsense. That stuff actually happens. Okay, so like, yeah, there are legitimate like bot farms out there that do stuff exactly like that. It's no different than a Bitcoin farm or anything else. You got 500 units and you get all at the exact same time, and he gives you artificial things that are trend. You can artificially make things trend. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with that. Because at the end of the day, everything's just a mathematical algorithm, right? And if you fluff up the mathematical algorithm with fake numbers, right? Just like we've seen with Wall Street and things crash, same concept, right? You can do the exact same thing to social media and with it trending and all of that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, there you go. Yeah, nobody's happy about that. Nobody is happy about that. Except for the shills and the bots. And so you speak for the majority of people out there, and I don't blame you one bit. It's ridiculous. And I'm a guy that primarily only pretty much does use my PC anymore and gets everything on Steam, right? And I know I can get my stuff off GOG and then whatchamacallit, I'm downloading them and turn them to disk, which is one of the things GOG is promoting right now. Put it on a thumb drive, burn your own disk. I love that. And it's like I said, I think there's a missed opportunity with a lot of indie video game companies right now. Like, you guys should be like putting your games on thumb drives, coming up with the dumbest, quickest possible little case that you can come with and sell it online for like $5 above what you're selling your game for, or whatever, like your bare minimum cost. If you only make $1 a profit a case, it doesn't matter, because you're going to sell so many of them right now because this stuff is so trendy and so hot and in the news that you'll literally make probably like $1 million just doing that, because everybody will buy it, even if your game's crap, right? Because they're like, just as an FU to Sony, they will do it, So yeah, giant, massive missed opportunity. So I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Animation overload. Good to see you, brother. This is Hail All Can't Stay. Hit the like button. Thank you, Animation. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, buddy. Reed says, I think once I catch up on my unplayed games, I'll sell my PS5 too. I mean, it kind of looks like it's pointless at this point, right? Like, you might as well just, I mean, $900 can buy a pretty good PC, even with today's prices. You know what I mean? Like, that's still going to get you a pretty solid PC, and that'll probably play 90% of your games out there at 1080p, if not better. Which, honestly, at the end of the day, you don't need 4K to play a game. And unless you're going to go out there and spend the money on a 4K television, like a 52-inch one, and play from like 6 feet away, the 4K ain't going to matter anyway. So, like, I get it. I get it. I get it. That you can come with, pause, phrasing, where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? You should see some of the stuff I put on Twitter. Where's the fun in that? Everything. Oh, man. Mac. So we were doing, I was on Foxhole Squares with Coffee Talk with Sandra on Saturday night. And that show's a blast. If you've ever seen Hollywood Squares, it's just like that, except with a bunch of internet personalities that you don't know. Or you might. And it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And me and Mac, I don't know, before I got there, Mac started getting like the questions that would kind of like insinuate that he was lighting the loafers. And then, so of course, Mac decided to lean into it. And so when I got there, like he leaned into some joke hard, and basically it came down to talking about the fact that like, that he loved The Notebook. It was one of his favorite movies. He's seen it multiple times. He still cries every time he watches it or something like that. I don't know if he went quite that far, but he's seen it a bunch of times. And so I put out there in the chat, I was like, you know how I know you're gay? You've watched The Notebook willingly. And so him and I just started like picking at each other, in fun. And yeah, so him and I were having a blast, Saturday night, because it was a Renaissance fair theme. And we had an absolute blast with that one, between him oiling up some blacksmiths and cod pieces, and some padding that's meant to prevent chafing. It was an absolute riot. And Sandra's just like, at the end of the show, she's just like, oh my God. She's like, what is going on between you and Matt? I was like, do you question our love, Sandra? Are you jealous? Are you jealous of our love? So yeah, Mac and I are having a blast with that. So yeah, phrasing is something we have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with. And sometimes it just happens naturally, and something will come out of my mouth and I went, wow, that just came out. That wasn't intentional. That's just, whoo, that's the Lord's Spirit right there. Praise be to the Lord. That's all Jesus. That's all Jesus right there. So yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, let's get to this now. Hold on, because this is horrifying. Disney Plus has ordered the series version, the television version, of Afterlife with Archie comics. The show was originally reported to be in development at the streamer in 2025 with a script to series commitment. Disney is slating the series for a potential launch around Halloween 2027. So we're going to carry on with, now that Sabrina was so successful and that Wednesday's been so successful, now we're going to do Archie Afterlife. Because you already did that whatever show on CW that was Archie, but like NC or like rated R for television, Archie, which I didn't even know was based on the Archie comics. And now we're going to get this version of it. So Afterlife. So that'll be fun. So, and it'll be from the Riverdale team. So there you go. You're going to get Afterlife with Archie from the Riverdale team. So if you like the CW Riverdale show, you're probably going to love this. So shout out to all the Riverdale fans. You guys should probably get an absolute blast out of this. For everybody else that has issues with Disney, the rest of us are just like, oh dear God. I'm good. Thank you though. But hey, like I said, if you're a Riverdale fan, you'll probably like this. For the rest of us, enjoy it. Enjoy it. See, Brew. Jesus, take the wheel. Why are you letting the gardener drive? Jesus, he mows my lawn. He does my garden. He roofs my house. Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I asked a Spanish teacher one time, I said, what's the closest equivalent to Jesse in Spanish? And she was like, Jesus. I was like, cool, I'm Jesus. She's like, no, it's Jesus. I'm like, fine, I'm Jesus. She's like, I knew you were going to do that. I should have never told you that. It was great. And I was like, I'm Jesus. Oh, that was great. That was a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. All righty. All right. So this I thought was great. And this one I wonder if this is this part of the whole thing? Okay, cool. No, they did separate this all off into a separate article. So good. Yeah, I think we're probably going to end up doing a video over this. Kevin Feige on Marvel's failed Blade reboot. I feel like a gigantic loser. I know. I'm glad you do too. And a failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala Ali. I know. We feel the same way. So I'm feeling very excited that we got Wesley Snipes back in time for Deadpool and Wolverine. And for some reason, you haven't greenlit that movie yet. I'm like a gigantic loser and failure that we couldn't get off the ground with Mahershala Ali. Mr. Ali. Yeah, we all think you're a giant loser for it too. You couldn't figure out a vampire hunting movie with an extremely physical and well-talented actor. What he actually probably means is he couldn't fit it into his timeline and couldn't figure out a way to make sure it filled in some spot of his overarching story is probably what he actually meant. You know, besides the fact that they were literally going to try to cuck Ali in his own movie and replace him with his daughter in the first Blade movie. So, yeah. Kind of understand why that relationship went sour and why we'll never see Ali's Blade movie. They'll never admit that it's canceled, but he just admits he's a giant loser for it. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. All right. Avengers Doomsday sellouts have a catch. Theaters are holding screens for Dune 3, so they haven't completely sold out the movies yet. Theaters purge Supergirl ahead of expected early digital releases. Warner Brothers cuts its losses. With over 1,000 theaters dropping the second movie in James Gunn's DCU after its second week, Supergirl's fate on the big screen is sealed. As is now firmly in the running to become one of the biggest flops in DC history. That'll be fun. That might be a fun one to do a video over too, just because that's funny. The Batman 2, delayed until February 2028. Reeves and co-writer Mattson Tomlin completed the script for Batman in June 2025. An October 2027 release date seemed like a lock, with production beginning in London on 26th. In 2026 of June. Today, things change once again, and the Batman Part 2 will now arrive 4 months later. Yeah, we want to make sure James Gunn and all the rest of his garbage is completely out of the way first. So, yeah, there you go. Ali's I can't ever pronounce his first name. Ali's casting was always odd. It was also beneath him because he was cast to hand over his mantle to his kid. Yeah, which is exactly why there was such a big stink. He was older than Snipes was in the first film when first cast. He's taken so long, he's closing in on 20 years older. Oh, it is. At least 10 now at this point. Because of when they announced that, the San Diego Comic-Con, like 2018 or right after Eternals or something like that, or right before Eternals. But yeah, no, it had to be like 2020 or something like that, 2021, 2022. So it hadn't been that long yet. But Because I remember reporting on the Blade stuff initially when the first leaks were coming out about all of that stuff and it being about him replacement. But no, it's definitely below him. But I mean, look, man, black don't crack. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Black don't crack. Okay, so Ali's going to be good for like at least, he's going to be like Wesley Snipes. Like, did you see Wesley Snipes in the Deadpool movie? It's literally been 30 years since he's been Blade, damn near. You know, at least over 20, well over 20. All right, almost 30 years since he's been Blade. And did he miss a beat? Hell no. So Ali's good for like the next 20, 30 years, as long as he stays in shape. But yeah, it's nonsense. It's ridiculous. And we're never going to see that movie. But yeah, that's exactly what they were going to do. It was going to be part of it. All he was going to be was a transition into the all-girl thing, which is why he blew up. He was like, oh, hell no, you ain't doing this to me. And 3 scripts later and 2 brand new writing teams. And guess what? We still ain't got a Blade movie. So, yep, there you go. There you go. But yeah, that's been delayed. This I thought was weird. Kratos will be recast on God of War TV show after Ryan Hurst on the set bicep injury. Hurst was initially expected to be ready for filming in August, but the recovery time will be longer than that, with production possibly delayed until 2027. So they're going to recast him? That is nuts. Tore his bicep performing a stunt. This is why they don't like lead actors to perform their own stunts. That is wild. Longer than the production shooting schedule could accommodate. So they're kicking him to the curb. Yeah, literally all of Hurst's previously filmed scenes will all have to be reshot. And it began in production in February. Wow. That is nuts. That sucks because I like Ryan Hurst. Like, he was great as Opie. So that's like the only reason I was even like remotely excited about that show was because of him. And now I'm like, I really don't care. So that sucks. That sucks. Well, I hope he gets healed quickly. Maybe it was for the best. You never know. The Lord works in mysterious ways. At this point, I just want Snipes back and Ali to make his own films. Yeah, there you go. I do not greenlighting an old Wesley Snipes like he did a damn Wolverine movie was so dumb. But Kevin Feige is so obsessed with making sure everything fits into his little timeline and everything else that it's never, I don't think he can allow himself to do one-off movies. I really don't. Outside of like Deadpool and Wolverine, and even then that still got tied into the TVA and everything else. It still had to be tied in to the rest of his universe. You know what I mean? I don't think he's got it in him to not do something that's tied in. So the Dad of War show is starting to give off bat whamming vibes. Yeah, it might. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that they were going to base it on the 3rd game or the 4th game, which I did not play, by the way. I have never played, by the way. I wasn't all that hyped up to begin with. But then he got attached to it. Then Ryan Hurst got attached to it. And I'm like, all right, I'm willing to give it a shot, at least for him. And because I loved him in Sons of Anarchy. And now I'm like, nope. That's a big fat bite me. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. This I thought was wild. This is something maybe we should look into pin. It's a PS5 movie tie-in game is available now. So I guess it's PS5 exclusive. Citizen Vigilante. The Citizen Vigilante video game is a first-person shooter that casts you as Sanders in an 8-story-driven missions, according to the synopsis. So that's officially available on PS5, which sucks. I didn't realize it was just PS5 because that would be cool to play on stream because all of the backlash with that movie from a certain section of the crowd. So that's be pretty interesting. But sorry, PS5 exclusive. So nope, F you, Sony. Yeah, there you go. Shadow Warden says Greek Kratos is better than North's Kratos. 100%. I haven't even played the Norse Kratos, and I 100% agree with you on that one. So yeah, I haven't even played Norse Kratos, and I 100% agree. Absolutely. Halo campaign evolved. PS5 disc requires day one update download plus a Microsoft account. Physical media fans are furious. Fans have been waiting for this release since its announcement, and PlayStation gamers have been eager to play a Halo game on their preferred platform for the first time. Effectively start at the beginning. But the anti-physical media issues that have been plaguing the video game industry for some time seem to be rearing their heads again. A day one update, which is literally like so annoying, and it's the par for the course for every single game, I swear, these days. But you also have to get a Microsoft account to play Halo on your PlayStation. Well, it's the only way you can play online. Okay, what if I just want to play the campaign and I want to play online? Why do I have to create an account? You know, like, if you want to argue to play online, I have to create an account. Fine, whatever. Whatever. Fine. Let us in order to let us into your lobbies. Fine, whatever. But to play just the solo missions, to play just the campaigns, to play, I don't know, local co-op, on your couch, like we all did with Halo back in the day. Yeah. Nope. Not if you buy a PlayStation 5. Nope. Microsoft wants your email. They want you to have a password. They want you to have an account. They want you in their system. Yeah. Might not be a big thing to a lot of fans, but to some folks out there, that's nuts. And it is. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This perpetual online enforcement of every single person that wants to play a video game has gone absolutely insane. And it's just more of this. That's nuts. I mean, you'll wonder why people sail the high seas for things. You wonder why emulators are so prevalent all over the internet. Because video game corporations do dumb garbage like this. Yeah, the backlash is well-deserved, Microsoft. 100% on that one. Who knows? Maybe that new Xbox CEO will actually listen and fix something like this. I have no idea. But, yeah, that's dumb. Cyberspeed over on the build side says, yes! Microslop made Halo gay. It's true. They did. Cyberspeed. It's true. Oh, in order to play on PlayStation, it's $120 a year. That's why I quit 2 years ago. Oh, to do the online play thing? Yeah. Oh, just to play online? Yeah, it's like the Microsoft Live account and shit. I always hated that stuff. There are certain games you don't have to have that for. There are certain like free games you don't have to have that for like Fortnite and stuff like that. You don't have to have an account for those kind of things. I don't think. Anyway, I could be wrong. I haven't played my PlayStation in a long time, but I didn't think you used to. It might have changed now, though. It's been so long. God, it's been years since I fired up a PlayStation. Been literal years. I couldn't tell you the last time. Well, because my PS4, the disc drive stopped working a while back, and I haven't messed with it since then. Because my monkey decided to ask to play Spider-Man, because I had Spider-Man 1, the first one in there, and it is really good. Obviously, it's a really good game, and but the disc drive doesn't work anymore, and I think that game's stuck in there. And I'm just not. I use it as a DVD player more than anything else. I'm not super in a big rush to get it fixed. So yeah, it is. Oh, I've been on PlayStation for 20 years. Do the math. Yeah, there you go, Subaru. That is nuts. Been playing on. See, because I never really played online all that much. It was never a big deal to me. That was like that just required me scheduling time to play with my friends, and no. I'm more selfish than that. I'm more narcissistic than that. But now it's funny because you can play with randos if you want to do that stuff online now. But it works better if you have friends to play with. And now I coordinate all that stuff. But I used to always just play. I almost always exclusively played solo games, almost exclusively. And if it didn't have a couch co-op, I mean, I don't think I started playing against people online. I don't think I started doing that until I started streaming and doing video games on stream with you guys. Because I don't think on my Xbox, I think the only time as I had Call of Duty, but I think the only time I ever played co-op was with my brother when we played Zombies, local co-op. I don't think I ever got any of those things online. I don't remember if I ever did or not. I might have had an account at one point just because I thought I might play with my friends and I never did. But yeah, I don't think I ever played online with other folks. Until I started streaming. Now that I think about it. So yeah, now I did have the PlayStation Plus account thing for a little while when they gave you the access to like the big back catalog one summer back in like 2016. I did do that. That was really cool. And I enjoyed. That's how I played through all the Saints Row games. But yeah, that was the only time I ever had that. Even PlayStation Plus. That was the only time I ever even had that. So yeah, I think that's so weird. Reed says it's bizarre seeing in other platforms mascot games on the competition's console. What's even the point of an exclusive now? Well, I mean, okay, so you want to know why they did it with Halo, Reed? You want to know the bare bones, God's honest truth as to why they did it with Halo? Because Halo as a franchise has lost its value, right? Halo as a franchise has lost its value because of the last few games have been garbage. That CBS Paramount show was so offensive to any real fan of the video game whatsoever that damaged the brand further. Obviously, Microsoft and Xbox and what they've been doing over the past 20 years has not helped the overall love for Xbox or Microsoft in any way, shape, or form. But primarily, it's because the Halo brand is damaged. The Halo brand is absolutely damaged, and it is not as valuable as what it used to be. Because if the Halo games were at their height of Halo 1, 2, or even 3, right? Especially like 2, you would be going out there and buying an Xbox in order to play Halo. You know, Halo and Fable were like the only reasons I ever would go out of my way to buy an Xbox. And even then, I'd just wait until I could pick one up cheap, right? I just wait till I could pick up an Xbox cheap, and I've had a couple extra $100 because you used to be able to get them back then for that. I'd grab one so I could play Halo and Fable. And then my brother wanted to play Black Ops, and so we started playing Black Ops 2. And that was while I was in the military. And so, but other than that, like, yeah. It's just they've damaged the game because it would cause if Halo was still selling consoles, this would have never happened. But Halo and Master Chief do not sell consoles anymore because of what Microsoft has done to the brand. So yeah, that's why you see this. That's why there is no point to an exclusive now, because they have damaged these brands beyond belief. So this is just nothing more than a desperate attempt at a cash grab for people that already love Halo and have probably bought an Xbox in the past to play Halo. Just an excuse for them to buy the game again on PlayStation to pump up the numbers and make the brand look more valuable than it actually is. It's literally smoke and mirrors and a desperate cash grab. That is because the brand is damaged. That's the only reason this is happening, Reed. 100%. Reed says, I played the first couple of Halo games, didn't keep up with it, but I looked up the lore for later games, and it seemed kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where it just ran away from itself. It did go insane, and a lot of those later games did not get much love at all. I didn't play Halo, like whatever Infinite or whatever the last one. The last decent one that comes in like the Master Chief collection, the last one with Master Chief in it, Reach. I didn't play that one until like a couple of years ago, and I played all three like early on in Xbox days. But yeah, because I heard Reach was just okay, and I was like, well, whatever. And so I'll just keep going back and playing the original one on local co-op. So I never got around to it. And then one of my buddies got it for me for Christmas, and we played it on one of our 24-hour streams. He played the campaign with me. Cyber C says, I haven't touched my PS4 in years. Yeah, exactly. Right? PC Master Race, baby. There you go. Halo Master Chief Collection is the only thing I've played. Oh, there you go, Cyber Speed. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, and you can just play that on computer now. You know? So it's nuts. It's nuts. Shadow Warden says I was only on PlayStation for the PS2 to PS4 because they had exclusives that I was interested in, like Killzone, Horizon series game. Killzone 2 was peak Killzone. There you go. The first one was the worst in terms of gameplay. Ah, gotcha. I miss shooting at mutant space Nazis in Killzone. There you go. I heard good things about Killzone. But no, I played PlayStation because of like God of War. Because it was one of the exclusives over there, which I didn't get into Final Fantasy games until like 10. Which were always PlayStation exclusives up until that doesn't work anymore. So yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. But no, I was always more of a PlayStation guy than an Xbox guy. After my Nintendo days, I never really went back to Nintendo until like I take that back. I did try never mind. I take that. I skipped the GameCube. That was the only generation of Nintendo system that I skipped was the GameCube. Because I had everything else after that too. So and that's the other thing, dude. Nintendo's going to end up being the only console left standing because they make good games that are exclusive to their systems that people will gladly pay for. So that's what's funny. Cyberspeed says PS2 had the best JRPG era. There you go. I didn't even get a PlayStation until the PlayStation 3, and then I made sure to get the one that was backwards compatible. Yeah, so that way I could play my games. And then my favorite game on that was probably Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which was a PS2 game. So PS3 definitely had the best software interface. Oh yeah, operating system interface. Yeah, I loved the PS3's operating interface. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. There you go. Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, I think Common Nerd is going to take a tinkle, and I think we're going to try to cut at least 1 or 2 videos. We got some fun DC updates to get into as well, though. Some stuff that was going on, and we of course got a little bit of the Stargate news as well. But give me 1 second, boys and girls. I'll be right back. Common Nerd's got a tinkle. Oh, all right. There we go. There we go. Tinkle, tinkle, little star. Thanks, Snorter Poopus. Ah, the Little Dipper. There you go. I love it, Reed. That is great. All right, let's see what we got here. Man of Steel delayed again. Let me see what we got here today. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, there you go. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah. There you go. Let's go ahead and do this. I haven't done I normally do trailer reviews kind of like randomly. And we're not going to this time. We're going to do one. That is a beautiful poster. Wow. That is really cool. Let's do this properly, shall we? Nah, look at that. 21 million views in 6 hours. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Wow. All right. There's that. Everybody, now we're at 21 million views. We're just going to watch that change while we're watching this. All right, let's pick this up. This will be a good thing to drop first thing on Monday since the trailer just dropped today. So this will be a good thing. This will be a good way to do this. That will be a good way to do this. I like this. All right. I like this. Let's do it. We don't do these like this very often. It is a good poster. You know, and it's one of those things like, even if the movie ends up being a disastrous dumpster fire, which it very well possibly could be, you know, or the worst thing that can happen, right? Coughing break. Thank you, Cyberspeed. The worst thing that can happen to Marvel is that movie just be mid, right? Because if that movie ends up coming, like, if that movie doesn't hit $1 billion, it's going to send some shockwaves across things. If this movie doesn't cross $1 billion, it's going to send some shockwaves across Marvel and across Disney. I really firmly do believe that. I do firmly believe that. I just don't think there's any other way to do it. Man of Steel, chainsaw maintenance for fun and profit. I like that. Man of Steel. Because of Steel chainsaws. My wife didn't have to go to work till noon today. Her shift got delayed. So, hey, boys and girls, those memberships and direct donations are fabulous. Just a friendly FYI. Or those memberships and donations are fabulous, FYI. So that's okay. Lord provides. Lord provides. Lord provides. So yeah, we went and stopped and got a soda this morning before she went to work. We took the kids up there. Well, the kids that are at home with us out of school. So I love that. But yeah, to be fair, Reed, we got to call balls and strikes fairly, right? And look, if the trailer looks cool, I'm not going to lie. I'm not here to roast shit just to roast shit. We'll let the cards fall as they may. Because we ain't going to... most people out there have already decided whether or not they're going to watch this or not. Right? Let's be completely honest. Well, all of us right? You, me, and all us folks out here in the chat, you guys, those of us that y'all out here that like to come hang out with me and everybody else in this like little corner of the internet, in this little corner, right? You all have decided already whether or not you're going to go see this movie. There might be some out there in our little corner of the internet that be like, yeah, I'll wait for the trailer and maybe I'll still decide. There's probably still a fair amount of those folks out there. Because honestly, to a certain degree, I'm that kind of person. If it wasn't for this job. But a lot of folks out there in our little corner of the internet have already decided whether or not they're going to go see this, right? Whether or not they're going to give Marvel another shot, right? So that's I think already decided for a lot of folks out there. But at the end of the day, you still got to call balls and strikes fairly. So if the trailer's good, trailer's good. Doesn't mean the movie's going to give me success. I mean, we've seen lots of great trailers and have movies still turn into disastrous dumpster fires. So we will see what happens. Oh my God. Sunker's. No, I'm just kidding. She's not sending me inappropriate pictures. Sunker has never sent me inappropriate pictures. Not ever. All right. Let's bang out a video. Dude, bro, set 420. What up, buddy? Says I stopped watching this stuff 10 years ago. See, there you go. There we go. See, there's one right there already. So yeah, 100%. But like I said, this is going to be the biggest trending news of the day. This is going to overshadow Odyssey. This is going to overshadow everything. This is going to, if this movie trailer is good, which so far it seems like the numbers are looking good for it, then, Hall H ought to be interesting this weekend. Good to see you as well, dude, brother. Stuff. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. This is going to be a fun one. Because I haven't watched this trailer yet. So we're going to find out today. I gotta finally got some more vape juice and found my wire cutters too, and I need to just go get my damn other tank set back up. So that way I ain't got to keep worrying about this damn thing making a mess all over the place and causing itself issues. All right. Smash that like button and repost if you're over on Rumble. Hype if you're over on YouTube, if you've got that ability. All that stuff helps out with the algorithm, boys and girls. All righty. Let's do this, shall we? All right, with me. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jess with Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things through a common sense lens. And if you haven't heard for some reason today, a little bitty trailer for a little bitty movie from a little bitty company out there called Marvel, Avengers Doomsday, our trailer has dropped. A big one, a lot, with a whole lot of things. We've got San Diego Comic-Con coming this weekend, boys and girls, and Marvel will be at Hall H for the first time in a little while. And a lot of people are very curious to see what's going to end up coming out of that. But this trailer has just gone live as of the time of this recording this morning. And a lot of people have already watched it. It's already got millions, tens of millions of views, boys and girls. It looks like a lot of people are enjoying it so far. I have not watched it yet. So we're going to watch it together. We're going to get our first reaction. I like to record these live whenever I'm doing my little news shows. How bad could it be? Pop culture news at random times. So keep your notification bells on if you like to see stuff like that. But so we'll be watching this with all of my chat out there, and we're going to see what we think of this. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be fair. I want to try to call balls and strikes fairly. You guys have seen my videos, right? You guys have seen the stuff that we've done out there. And if you haven't, go check out my catalog, right? You see that Marvel, we try to call balls and strikes as fairly as possible. Marvel is not in a good place. This is Kevin Feige's Hail Mary. He's admitted that himself. This is a reboot, as he stated in recent interviews. This is their last shot at trying to regain the audience that they have lost. There's a good portion of them they're never going to get back. But at the end of the day, if this is good and if this works, Stella may get a little bit of her groove back. But Kevin Feige, at the end of the day, has to have a massive win with this, because if Avengers Doomsday ends up coming in under $1 billion, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to cause some serious ripples. And now we've got one of our very first literally very first major trailers that we've got going on right over here, boys and girls, because as you can see from Cosmic Book News, Avengers Doomsday official trailer released. Steve Rogers is still worthy. And we got the trailer right over here. Well, we've also got the beautiful poster. And like I said, we have to call balls and strikes fairly. That's a gorgeous poster. So we're going to check that out. We're going to check out the trailer over here, which, like I said, has literally only been live for 7 hours at the time of this recording and already has almost 22 million views with 1.6 million upvotes and less than 50,000 downvotes. So it looks like things are looking rather nice for our dear, sweet Marvel Entertainment Avengers Doomsday trailer. So we're going to check this out. I'm going to give you my first initial thoughts because I have not watched this yet. We're going to do it live with all of you. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, smash that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls. And if you'd like to help support your working poor content creator that I am out there, boys and girls, please check out the links or all of the fun little buttons down below and help support us in this effort to continuing bringing you honest to God truth and fair balls and strikes kind of calls on all things pop culture and entertainment and occasionally a little gaming news. Thank you guys very much for that. All right, you know what? Why tease you any farther? Why tease you any farther? Let's just get into it, and then we'll get into all of the fun details and all of the factoids behind the scenes out there, boys and girls. So here we go. Avengers Doomsday official trailer in theaters December 18th. Nothing much here as far as the description whatsoever, keeping things pretty much down to just the bare bone links. So we'll get into the synopsis that leaked last week, and it looks like from this trailer alone, it looks like it's pretty accurate, boys and girls. So let's see what we got here. So Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, aka Xavier's School for Mutants, boys and girls. That's our opening scene. So what do we know about this already, right? Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars is supposed to be Kevin Feige's excuse to reboot the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe and get rid of all of the characters that have been costing the company hundreds of millions of dollars, well over a few billion at this point, over essentially the last 5 to 10 years, basically since post-Endgame, and honestly a couple of things before that as well. So this is what we're going. They're also going to include all of the Fox X-Men stuff because, boys and girls, y'all love yourself some Deadpool and Wolverine, and of course, the Fox X-Men stuff is generally beloved by a lot of audiences out there. And yes, Kevin Feige, I did want Wolverine in yellow spandex. Thank you very much. But at least we finally got it. Only took like 20 years, but hey, I guess better late than never. As a Christian, we're supposed to be forgiving in our nature and giving and all about second chances. So let's see what happens with Kevin Feige's second chance at saving his Marvel Cinematic Universe, boys and girls.
Something's coming. Something we may not be able to deter.
And there, of course, is our dear sweet Professor Xavier. And things look like they're getting hot. Things look like they are getting hot. And I've heard some reports already that this is essentially Robert Downey Jr. as Doomsday, narrating this whole thing. So yeah. And shout out to Patrick Stewart. You know what? The man's still here. The man's still here. And we God love him for that. God love him for that. Give him strength. Give him strength, Father.
Be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
So for a little context, for those of you that might not be aware of what happens inside of Marvel Comics for the Secret Wars, which unfortunately Kevin Feige is using the one from 10 years ago, and apparently that's also going to be his path forward for the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe post-reboot. We'll see how all that turns out, boys and girls. But needless to say, in the comic books, what happens is there's some kind of massive kind of event. I can't remember exactly what they call it, but essentially all of the different dimensions, all of the different variations. Essentially what actually happened was Marvel got all of their variants and timelines and all of that other kind of craziness got completely and totally out of hand. So they had to come up with an excuse to collapse it all back in essentially one universe, i.e. Marvel 616, right? And they kept a couple of characters. Miles Morales was part of the characters that they kept and brought into the main 616. There was a few others that kind of did that, right? So there's this massive event where essentially all of the worlds are collapsing, and the only way Fair. Spoiler alert, just a little bit. If you want to skip ahead to back when the trailer begins again, skip ahead like 30 seconds. Spoiler alert. The only way to prevent certain timelines from collapsing is to destroy others. And Earth, of course, is always the focal point, right? And so if you blow up the Earth of that universe, it collapses their whole timeline. And the theory is that you're going to be able to save the other timelines and kind of prevent the kind of chain reaction that's going on. Needless to say, doesn't exactly work out all that well in the comics. Everything collapses all down into one universe. Like I said, this is a 10-year-old story, which has honestly been ripped off over 35, 40-year-old story, because Secret Wars has already happened once in Marvel Comics, and now we're essentially doing a rinse and repeat all over again. So original, Kevin Feige. Thank you. You're just such a talented studio head, aren't you? You just deserve all of the acclaim you do. But needless to say, that's essentially what's going on right here. That's what our dear sweet Professor Xavier is seeing. That's what Doomsday is talking about, boys and girls.
I've fought with
Avengers Tower. There's Thor talking with that one right there. So there you go, because it is now the Avengers Tower, you know, and all of that kind of stuff that happened with Stark and all of that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. So no Baxter Building yet, though. No Baxter Building yet. I wonder why. Oh, that's right. Different universe. They're going to fix that.
many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one.
Woo! There's Cyclops. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. Because we got a lot of Thor. And look, I love Chris Hemsworth. I think he's great. I think he's been screwed over in a lot of the rest of his movies. Of course, we're going to get Shuri Black Panther. Of course, we're going to get Finding Nemo Namor as well, because you just can't help yourself on that one, of course. But, you know, here's your crew. Boys and girls, this is going to be your crew for saving the universe, with Thor apparently as leadership. And I'm good with that. At least. You've got your new Avengers over here, aka the Thunderbolts, right? You got your Fantastic Four. God only knows how they're going to figure out how to get these guys in, but I'm sure Reed Richards is Pedro Pascal is going to figure that one out. You got Ant-Man, because he's still around for some reason. And of course, our Captain Falcon. So there you go. Oh yeah, this is that other chick from that, and then that's probably the other dude from over there. But yeah, so this is essentially what we're going to end up getting for our quote-unquote Avengers team in Doomsday. Obviously, they're going to pick some more folks up along the way, and you're going to have your big epic woo at the end. So far, so good. As just a trailer alone, I'm enjoying it so far. It's not bad at all. I love Chris Hemsworth. He's a great narrator. I'm enjoying this so far.
And they died.
Namor! Shuri!
Enemies and threats that scared me far less.
I do also like how it's like, my friends were way stronger than you, all of you, and we're going up against something worse that killed them.
This one.
But yes, Cyclops, our Gambit, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Seeing them in their proper costumes, as they should be, as they should have been in the original X-Men movie, Kevin Feige. But I digress. I'm not bitter. I swear. I'm lying. Lord forgive me. But yes, so far so good. And I love it. I hope Gambit gets to knock the crap out of Shang-Chi and his silly little rings. I think that's going to be great. There you go. So now we at least get one idea of some of the MCU version of these characters as to what's going on and who they're going to fight and some of the crossovers. So at least we've got that there. So that could be cool. I hope Shang-Chi gets the crap beat out of him by Gambit, because Gambit's the man. And Channing Tatum's awesome.
Everything that they sacrifice will be for nothing.
Loki, TVA, obviously.
If we do not stand together, put aside your petty squabbles. Presume nothing except this. If
you return, you will return as brothers and sisters.
Okay, so I'm trying to let this play a little bit so you guys can still enjoy the trailer as well, because, you know, I'm not one of those channels that can probably get away with playing the whole thing at the beginning and letting you guys enjoy that. But so one of the things about this is some people might go, Sue Richards, oh my God, why is she the one out there working out peace with Wakanda? Why isn't Reed there? You could argue a little wham power, but this has actually been kind of a traditional role very much for Sue throughout the comics. She's kind of been the peacemaker. She's been kind of, you know, reads the brains. He's also the leader. But Sue, with her feminine instincts, her maternal instincts, with all of that kind of stuff out there, as well, she's kind of been the peacemaker in the Fantastic Four comics. So that's not anything unusual at all to see her in that role. So I just want to point that out in case somebody out there tries to rage bait you into going, oh my God, here we go again. That is very traditional for Sue Storm within the comic books, boys and girls. And honestly, she's really well written in the comics. You'd love her. Go read those instead. But either way, so far, so we've got some good stuff in here. Right, obviously, we're gonna get all of our dear sweet time with all of our new Avengers, of course. TVA, of course, you can't miss. You gotta have Hiddleston in the trailer, of course. And we knew the TVA was going to be a thing. We knew that from Deadpool and Wolverine. I like seeing our dear sweet Pedro Pascal. Look at him cowered up against the wall while everybody else has got guns. He does have one stretchy arm going out and doing some stuff though. So there you go. He's probably doing something useful. I'm probably just being overcritical. But honestly, so far, good action-packed trailer. Not a lot of nonsense, not a lot of BS. So far, so good. So far, so good.
To hide your petty squabbles. Presume nothing.
Not a big fan of Mystique in the suit, personally. I could also understand why the lady, who is obviously not as young as what she used to be, but still absolutely stunning, might not feel comfortable getting into the classic stuff. Plus, that makeup was kind of gnarly. But boys and girls, let's be honest. We know why Mystique's not in her proper outfit, right? From the X-Men movies. Let's be honest. I mean, hell, I'd take the dress from the comics or the X-Men animated series.
Except this. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters.
Wakanda! Sorry, I couldn't. There you go. That's the scene we've already seen.
We're going to need a miracle.
We'll show that here in a second. So I just think a lot of, I've already, like, you know, obviously I do this for a living, right? Support your working poor content creator. But so I heard some people kind of having an issue with this, that Doomsday could just handle like what essentially is an Infinity Gauntlet kind of level weapon that was his axe. Right. And so at Thor's axe. So everybody was like, that's kind of really. But you know, do you really expect them to be able to figure out their power scaling? You know what I mean? I mean, you had Captain Marvel claimed to supposed to be the strongest MCU hero of all of them out there. Do you really expect any of that kind of stuff out there really for that? So, I mean, yeah, color us shocked there. Power scaling isn't exactly something Marvel's been super accurate about, especially over the last decade or so.
Hey, pal.
It's not possible.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. That's the reaction Marvel wants you to have from that scene. We all knew he was coming back. This doesn't surprise anybody at all. Of course, they're not going to put him in the Captain America suit. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see that in Secret Wars. But yeah, still worthy. Obviously, he's Captain America, right? He's Captain America. He's always going to be worthy. This is the guy who, being the smallest, tiniest little guy out there, who desperately wanted to serve his country, defend freedom and democracy around the world out there, and all of the things that make America great. And literally, yeah, of course he's still worthy. It doesn't matter what he's been up to. It doesn't matter if timelines are collapsing. Of course he's still worthy, boys and girls. But also, as a friendly confirmation, you're not going to get him back with the shield. Kevin Feige and the rest of Marvel want to give you the friendly reminder that Captain Falcon is their version of Captain America, at least until the end of Secret Wars. So yeah, don't expect to see Captain America pick up the shield or the suit, at least not in this movie, or anytime soon. Let's just be completely and totally honest, boys and girls. But hey, you got Captain Falcon. So what more do you need? I don't know, maybe a box office that didn't completely collapse. Ooh, Avengers Doomsday. I do like the music. See it in Infinity Vision. I'm not entirely sure if they understand exactly how accurate they actually are on that. Because December 18th, 2026 is Doomsday. It's either going to be a Doomsday everybody really enjoys, or it's going to be a Doomsday for Marvel. We're not entirely sure yet, but based on this trailer, I'm excited. Like, if I was a generic Marvel normie out there that didn't know all of the nonsense going on behind the scenes, yeah, it's a solid trailer. I like it. I enjoy it. I'll probably go back and sit down there and just watch it all the way from beginning to end. Mostly because I like to see my Scott Summers properly in his actual Cyclops outfit, doing actual Cyclops things. And of course, watching Gambit knock the crap out of 10 Rings Shang-Chi is going to be fun. So yeah, but this is everything. This is all their nuts in a basket, right? If this doesn't work, they're in a bad spot. It'll just be Spider-Man and occasionally an excuse to throw together something else. Because if they can't make this work, it is the end of the MCU as we know it, boys and girls. And I feel fine. So either way, it's going to work out. Either way, it's going to work out for all of us. But yeah, look at that. You got the fun little countdown clock, all of that kind of stuff. There you go. All the seconds from when it's released. But I mean, as you can tell from like the graphics that we've got right here, like we were talking about at the beginning, everybody seems to really enjoy it. Everybody seems to really like it, right? I mean, we got 1.6 million upvotes to 49,000 downvotes. What do we got in the comments? Proof that you were here within the first 24 hours. There you go. Thor taking center stage as a leader after being goofy is so welcomed. I agree. 90% of the movies will just be everyone meeting each other. Probably that too as well. 10% action, 90% meet and greet. There you go. Thor, it's not possible. Steve, flame on. I love that. Thor doing two-factor authentication on Steve. Hey, I can respect that too, because you got to think about it. Even though most people didn't see the Secret Invasion television show on Disney Plus, it's supposed to be understood that scrolls are a thing, right? So you know people can look like other people. Thor also has his brother Loki, who we've seen do any version of face he wants 1,000,000 times out there, boys and girls. So yeah, I get a kick out of that. Gambit looking like he's about to make a name for himself. I like that. So far, it looks like it's pretty good. The most expensive villain we've ever faced. And that boy ain't wrong at all. I hate you 3000, Dr. Doom. I love it. Having Thor remain such a larger-than-life character after all these years is a gift to every fan. So it looks like everybody is generally pretty happy. And I really enjoy that. I'm glad to see that because at the end of the day, I just want the fans to be happy. Above almost everything else, except maybe my own personal DC fandom, I want fans to be happy. And if the general fan, I'm generally a general audience kind of fan for most of this stuff. I'm what you might even call a normie, thus the name Common Nerd, right? And so it's one of them situations where, like, if the general audience is happy, you know, you're always going to have your detractors. And yeah, is everything going to be perfectly an exact replica from what we've seen in the comics or what we've seen in the source material? No. You know, Lord of the Rings wasn't a perfect, exact replica of what Tolkien did in the books, but it is still almost unarguably the greatest trilogy that cinema's ever produced. Yeah, probably so. So exactly, and it sold like 1 billion books for that series. So yeah, there you go. So this is what we got right now here. So an updated synopsis for Avengers Doomsday has surfaced ahead of this week's Comic-Con, and it doubles down on the leaked plot outline. The new copy expands on the synopsis Disney first put into the CinemaCon recap, which confirmed heroes from 3 distinct universes on a deadly collision course. Then updated version surfacing the day before tickets go on sale adds that the multiverse saga begins its final chapter here, and the film lays the foundation for the MCU's future. And just remember, they are still very much unverified rumors at this point, but there have been some talks that Kevin Feige might try to drag this all the way out into 3 movies. So be prepared for this to end up being another trilogy as well. So here's the updated version of the description for the trailer and for the movie. Universes collide and the multiverse saga begins its final chapter in Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday. Beloved heroes from 3 distinct universes will set on a deadly collision course and ultimately face an existential threat unlike anything they've ever encountered. This epic film will lay the foundation for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, i.e. wiping everything out and restarting almost from scratch. So we'll see how things go with that. We know they have an X-Men movie that's currently in the works right now, right? It's from the same guy that did the new Avengers, aka Thunderbolts, which for all of some of the complaints I've heard about that movie, overall, everybody said it's like the least offensive Marvel movie over like the last 5 years. So I guess that might give it some kind of chance. We'll see how things go. Look, they're on their redemption arc. I'm willing to give them a shot, right? Forgiveness is absolutely a Christian value. It's an American value, and it's just something that we should just honestly, it's just a good thing to at least give them a shot. Does that mean Kevin Feige is going to do anything other than screw up? No. But just to be fair, they're at least trying to go in a different direction. We'll see what happens. So obviously this leaks the exact architecture. We know what's talking about all of that. John Campea. We've seen all the rumors. If you guys been subscribed to this channel for a little while and you like these kind of Marvel videos, you've seen this stuff before. You guys have heard about a lot of this. This is essentially all the leaks, all the rumors, everything we've been hearing for what, like 3 years now about this, 4 years in some cases. Essentially all of it's true. It's exactly what we expected it all to be, boys and girls. Here's some more wonderful, some more art from the movie out there that we've got released. Obviously, we didn't get to see our wonderful Nightcrawler in this trailer. I hope we get to see him soon out there, but unfortunately, he doesn't even know who he's fighting against. So we'll see how all of that goes out there. So per the leak, 3 worlds of the MCU proper, the Fantastic Four's retro-futuristic universe where Steve Rogers has been living. Oh, there you go. That explains where he's been at. And the X-Men's universe, i.e. the Fox Marvel universe with Deadpool and everybody else. Notice that not one of these 3 is Raimi's Spider-Man world. That squares with the leak placing Tobey Maguire's universe in the film's opening as an incursion casualty rather than a home team. It's the reason Maguire and Doc Ock rumors can coexist with 3 universes' log lines. Heroes from 3 worlds survived a fight, and a 4th is there to fall. So anybody hoping to see Tobey Maguire back in a big part of this, let's just say you better keep your hopes very, very dashed, because it sounds like that is not going to be a thing at all, boys and girls. They're basically going to end up kind of Reed Richards and Imas from Marvel's In the Mouth of Madness, which is really what is more accurate as far as Doctor Strange, right? In the multiverse of madness out there. Yeah. The Mouth of Madness was a great movie, but anyway, yeah, not exactly going to make a lot of fans happy. Getting to see what many consider the GOAT of Spider-Man out there, just getting washed away. Not exactly going to go over very well for a lot of fans out there. So the synopsis is the only thing that moved this weekend. Fantastic's 4 official social accounts dropped a teaser, yada, 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 all of that kind of stuff. So what we got here, delivery date. Marvel posted a clip, not long as the incursion clock and the marketing clock in the same 2 words. Puts spotlight right where the leak does on Fantastic's 4 universe. That's where Steve Rogers has been living his second life. A family diner going dark. Is that thread starting to pull? So that's what we're thinking about. And of course, we've got Hall H coming up. The ramp is now fully visible. The updated synopsis and the diner teaser this weekend. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, Monday, July 20th for the Infinity Vision screenings, which those are the ones, if you see any reports of things being sold out, that's what they're talking about. There are actually screens specifically being reserved for Dune that have not been sold or even opened up yet, boys and girls. Obviously, all of that's subject to change later on down the road. But if you see anybody going, oh, it's been sold out, that is not the case. That is not the case. So yeah, that's what we've got with things over here right now. Obviously, lovely poster. Trailers officially out there. Marvel didn't want to wait for Hall H out all. We talked about the voices for Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. We went over the Xavier, all of this kind of stuff going on. Let's see, we got glimpses in Shang-Chi, Reed Richards, Yelena, even Herbie. Yay, you can't wait for the robot, right? We've got everything out there. We pretty much covered everything that he's got here in this article, the big beats. There's really not much what we've got going on here, but I do want to take a look at this poster because that's one of those things out there that this does look snazzy. You know what I mean? I mean, that is just some gorgeous artwork, boys and girls. I don't think it's AI because of all of the backlash they've got for all of that kind of stuff out there. This looks nice. This looks really, really well done. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong. But as of right now, this looks really, really nice, boys and girls. It's a gorgeous trailer. I'll be very curious to see what some of the references, some of the kind of insanity that some of the really hardcore, deep diving nerds out there really dig into this stuff. But it looks like as of right now, everything's looking good. You know, one of the things we talk about around here is trailers are bellwethers for movies, right? Trailer kind of gives you an idea of whether or not something's going to do well at the box office. Now, it's not always a guarantee of something that's going to be profitable. That's not the case at all. But it generally gives you an idea of whether or not it's going to succeed, whether or not the fans are going to be happy about things or not, right? And I think that's one of those situations where this one, from what we've seen so far, the fans are very happy, right? So this does not spell doom for the movie like so many other things out there might, especially with all the kind of crazy stuff that's going on. So as of right now, everything's pointing to it looks like we're going to have a very solid opening weekend for this movie. If this trailer went sideways, if a lot of people didn't like this, that would be a much worse looking thing. But as of right now, the bellwethers are looking good for Avengers Doomsday out there. As whether any of that actually holds flop, it'll actually is to be whether or not the movie actually ends up being good. Because the second weekend drop is always way more important than that opening weekend out there. You can make $150, $200 million on your opening weekend. But if you have a 60 to 70% drop or even worse, like an 80% drop in the second weekend, it does not matter. Because I've always said, boys and girls, it doesn't matter how good the foreplay is. If you don't finish her properly, you're not going to get a call back. And it's the exact same thing with movies and television shows, boys and girls. These trailers can look like fabulous foreplay all they want. But at the end of the day, if the meal does not deliver, the appetizer is going to be forgotten and your movie's going to end up flopping at the box office. As of right now, Avengers Doomsday, that trailer, I'd say, looks really good. It gets me excited. I think it's going to get the majority of fans excited out there. And as of right now, things are looking good for Avengers Doomsday. Well, Kevin Feige, you've given us a good tease. Some might even say the foreplay is looking all right now. The real question is, can you finish the job? Because fans will decide whether or not Avengers Doomsday succeeds or fails, just like they have every other single project you produced since the inception of the MCU. The real question now is, Kevin Feige, Stella, can you get your groove back? Or are fans going to decide that they're permanently done with the MCU? Avengers Doomsday comes out December 18th. And boys and girls, it's going to tell us a lot about the future of the MCU. If nothing else, Kevin Feige is certainly right about that. Whee! What up, Angie? Good to see you, sister. Glad you made it in. Glad you made it in. I am. The Spider-Man Brand New Day movie looks pretty good. Miss Glow, what up? Good to see you, sister. Calm down, Cabin Boy. Don't get too excited over Gambit. See, she would gladly be a cabin boy on Gambit's boat. Let's be honest, wouldn't you, Miss Glow? Wouldn't you? Yeah, I know you love Gambit. Good to see you. Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Amen to that, sister. Amen to that. Yeah, apparently Dune 3 is supposed to be coming out this December. I'd forgotten about the second one. Furious Dan! Good to see you, buddy. Over on the YouTube side says, hail, my brother. Hail, Furious Dan. Good to see you guys. All right, what have you guys been saying? Dude, bro, Set 420! I see you. We saw you early afternoon. So I can say it again anyway. This is going to be a clusterfuck of characters, and you just lost me. Bunch of nonsense writing by Hollywood losers. There you go. It'll do fine, just like the Odyssey did, because audiences have been turned into trained monkeys. I disagree. I think I'm really excited to see what that second weekend for Odyssey is. I know Odyssey opened strong, but I don't think there was any doubt that it was going to open strong. The real question is, can it finish strong? And because, like I've always said, there's only one way to make $1 billion in the box office. There is only one way to do it outside of cheating, which I'm sure would never happen in Hollywood in any way, shape, or form. There's only one way to make $1 billion in the box office, and that has to be repeat viewing. Are you willing to pay $20 to $40 to go back and sit in that theater for 3 hours and try not to pee yourself or have to go to the bathroom in the middle of it, right? For 3 hours to see that movie again. Because that is the ultimate determiner of how well a movie does or how good it is, at least as far as numbers come down to. So we'll see. We'll see what that second weekend drop is. I would not hold my breath on that one, buddy. Because a lot of people used to say the exact same thing about all the Marvel movies. You know, a lot of people used to think the exact same thing about they used to think the fans were just as stupid as Disney thought they were. There was people out there in my comments section that used to think the fans were just as dumb as Disney thought they were. And look at all the billions of dollars they've lost. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that one. Jameson, what up, buddy? Good to see you. Another fine member of the Nerd Herd over on Pilled. Says, what the hell is even that? That's a great one, right? That's a good sticker. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh. Read by Nature says, good to see Winston Duke is still getting called back for a M'Baka. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't they call him back for that? You have to explain why you did that. And yes, Andy, like I said, I am optimistic about Spider-Man. I think it'll end up being good. Reed says Mystique's redesign doesn't really work, to be honest. No, it does not. I do not like that at all. I do not like about that at all. Jameson says rewatchability isn't the only marker. No, but it is for $1 billion box office. The only way you make $1 billion box office is rewatchability. I know plenty of great movies that are kind of dumb to rewatch. Yeah, I know. I was just specifically referring to like box office $1 billion numbers. Rewatchability is the only marker that matters to make $1 billion box office. So it has to be good. It has to be. I mean, there were people that were going and seeing Deadpool and Wolverine like 5 or 6 times. You know, so nah, it's got to be good for that. It's got to be good for that. Or at least an absolute just blast. It can be dumb, but it's got to be an absolute blast of dumb that you love. But yes, Miss Glow is very happy to see Gambit. Reed says between Captain Marvel and Secret Invasion, they ruined the concept of Skrulls in the MCU. Yes, they did. People can tell me the Thunderbolts film is not that bad, but as a fan of the comic, I'll never watch the film. That I don't blame you of. Yeah, it's kind of not. How do you have the Thunderbolts without Thunderbolt Ross? Right? Like, what sense does that make? That's kind of where they got their name from. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of what they got their name from. So yeah, it's dumb. It is dumb. It is dumb. Jameson says, yeah, I guess. So yeah. Sorry, Angie. We were in the middle of cutting the video. Gotta wait till I'm done in the video. John Washburn, have a good day, buddy. Appreciate you hanging out, my friend. Yeah, good to hear from you too, Furious Dan. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, man. Oh, that's gonna be funny. Well, we'll see how that goes. That'll be our 6 o'clock video. Got to get that edited and all scheduled up and ready to go before, because Vacation Bible School starts this week, and they're doing it in the evening, which honestly I love. I think that's cool. A lot more kids can go if they do it in the evening, because a lot of our parents work. We got a lot of younger parents going to our church now, and a lot of us work all the time and crazy hours and everything else. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Eric D. Reed says Indiana Jones was produced under budget, ahead of schedule, on $17 million. I saw it about 100 times over my life. I have a VHS tape of Star Wars and I wore it out. There you go. Yep. That's rewatchability. That's rewatchability. You know what I mean? And, we ought to start judging movies by profitability and not box office. Like we need to start doing like profitability percentage, right? And that should be the only determining factor. Did you make 2.5 times your budget, right? That should be the only determining factor. And at least for box office, not as whether or not a movie's good, but as to whether or not it's financially successful. Let's argue that. Right. But we factor in DVD, VHS sales. We can even factor in streaming numbers now. And you look at profitability wise. If you listed the numbers strictly by sheer profitability wise, I'm sure that metric completely flips the script on a lot of different movies out there, which would fall more in line with what Jameson is saying too, as far as something, maybe you didn't go see it twice at the theaters, but it might have been something you might have burned through the tape on VHS. You know what I mean? Just because it was fun to watch. So yeah, there you go. No, it's true, Eric. It's never easy to make a movie and then blow it. There has to be a way that Disney execs make money producing losers, but I don't know how they do it. They don't, Eric. That's why they're in such a bad state that they're in. Literally, you have to really pay attention to those quarterly earnings reports, because if you look at it, the only section of Disney that is currently making a profit by any actual significant means that would move beyond them just arguing Hollywood math, right? The only thing that you can argue that is not just straight Hollywood math that is still profitable inside of Disney is their cruises. That is the only thing that still legitimately makes a profit. So they're not doing it. That's why you've seen the 10,000 layoffs over the last 4 years at Disney. They did massive firings. In 21, 22, even some more stuff in 23, they fired massive amounts of people. The reason why they're producing stinkers is because they thought this would work. They thought the spirit of the age nonsense would work. And because it takes so long to make movies, you got to think about it. Avengers Doomsday is a Hail Mary, right? We were supposed to have the next big bad in the MCU was supposed to be what's his face? The guy that showed up in Ant-Man and the Wasp. God, they ruined him so much I can't even remember the name of the character was supposed to be. But he was supposed to be the next big bad. And because Ant-Man and the Wasp flopped so bad, right? They completely flipped the script. Everybody, Hollywood goes, oh, it was Jonathan Majors' legal trouble. That was just an excuse. They were already pivoting behind the scenes, trying to get away from the Jonathan Majors Kang storyline. As soon as Ant-Man and the Wasp flopped, they were like, got to pivot away from Kang. And they had already fired a lot of the activist producers and stuff like that back in 21 and 22. So what you're seeing now is the leftovers from all of that stuff, right? That's why we saw what was it? Echo had been done for 2.5 years and had just sat on a shelf because Disney knew it was going to be such a stinker when they released it that they were just we'll just release it in the dead of night in a January and we'll release it all at once, which they'd never done before. So Avengers Doomsday is them attempting to right the ship. I don't think it's going to work though. USAID, it was easy to trace the $1 trillion of fraud. You can't just buy puts in the stock market for that far in the future. 5-year leftovers. Yeah, we are getting some 5-year leftovers. So, and Disney's got decades of rep because it's not like Disney pays for these movies out of pocket, right? Disney has to, every Hollywood company out there finances their movies. Majority of movies that are made in Hollywood do not get made out of studio pockets. They're almost all financed. They take out loans to make movies, right? So Disney's credit is really good with a lot of those backers. Now it's gotten worse and worse, and that's why Bob Iger admitted before he retired that they were going to have to start cutting back the amount of movies they were producing and the amount of television shows that they were producing because their credit ran out with all these finance companies. Right? That's how movies and television shows get made. These studios don't just foot the whole bill by themselves. They finance a good portion of that. They take out a loan and their credits run dry. So yeah. Shadow Warden says, and what they're making from cruises and parks are based on people taking out debt to go to them. That's possible. Once people can't get credit, Disney will nosedive. Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So yeah. In converse, there are plenty of rewatchable cult movies, says Jameson. Oh, 100%. I didn't think much. I didn't mean to be a contrarian. Oh, no, you're good, Jameson. I was just messing with you. I love your, I guess I was just messing with you, man. I like to do voices. It's fun. Like, we'll give you, it's a high marker of $1 billion grossing movie. Oh, 100%. Because a lot of people said Deadpool and Wolverine is not a great movie. A lot of people were like, it was dumb. A lot of like serious critics are like, it was dumb. The fans, general audience is like, we fucking love it. We don't care if it was dumb. We love that movie. You know what I mean? But to be fair, it is not a great, I would not argue Deadpool and Wolverine is a great movie by any means. But it is a fun movie. And sometimes it's all it takes to make $1 billion. So not with a constant influx of fake monies. Well, who defines if it's fake money or not? The printing press, right? So it's as real as the government says it is. That money is as real as the government, and the gun behind it says, well, okay, let me rephrase that. That money is as real as the government says it is, and the massive army standing behind that dollar bill. So yeah. Money's only as fake as the gun the money's only as fake as the gun behind it. If that gun's super real, that money's super real. So yeah. Yeah, Quantum Mania was the third film with Kang. Yeah, and that one flopped miserably. So not really. He was charged with beating his girlfriend or something. Yeah. Yeah, that was their excuse to get rid of him. Well, and then the charges all got dropped. Like, I think everything ended up getting dismissed. I don't think he ended up getting convicted of anything. Was my understanding. So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, Yellow Jackie. You talking about the guy? You talking about the one in the movie? The bad guy in the movie? Yeah, maybe. Maybe so. All right, what else we got? Kevin Feige admits failure. Let's see what else we got. Let's go through some of the DC updates, because we still got those in the title too. All right, another Stargate Atlantis fan, or another Stargate Atlantis star joins the hashtag Save Stargate, which once again I love. That if you haven't already, go sign the petition, boys and girls. It's already got like 120,000 signers or something like that. But if you like Stargate and you want to see a good version of it, go make your voice heard. It's really simple. Just sign the petition. It ain't hard at all. I love it. Oh, I meant the circular investments in Hollywood. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, shifting things around. Well, and that's why, okay, so another prime example of seeing that. That's why Warner Brothers Discovery is collapsing, right? Is because those circular investments eventually run out. And Disney's been working on that for a while. That's the reason why, whatchamacallit, the reason why they put Echo on Hulu as well, because it helps divert the costs, so that they can divide it up and make it look like Disney Plus wasn't losing money. That's why they did some of that stuff. But yeah, eventually it does collapse. It takes a while, because you got to think about it. These are institutions with decades, in some cases almost a century of history, and in some cases probably a century of history. And so it takes a lot to collapse a system that is that built in. But the consolidation of Hollywood shows you that the circular investments eventually run out. Right? That's why Warner Bros. Discovery is now getting sold to Paramount Skydance. It's the reason why Paramount got bought by Skydance. It's the reason why Fox got bought by Disney. So it's that's why you see that. It's why MGM got bought by Amazon, right? Because it does eventually fall out, and you do have to have real money. So yeah. Shadow Warden says, you haven't seen the on the street interviews with Dave Ramsey from affiliate creators. There are people taking out $7,000 loans for that. Ramsey with affiliate creators. Taking out 7K loans for what? The Disney cruises? No, I don't really follow Dave Ramsey all that much. This on the street interviews with Dave Ramsey, affiliate creators. I have not. If anybody taking out a 7K loan to go on a Disney cruise, you deserve exactly what you get. But from what I understand is like the Disney cruises don't even cost that much. They're actually like the most reasonable aspect of going to Disney. So yeah. Jameson says, who's the big baddie was supposed to be? Yeah, who the big baddie was supposed to be. Yeah. Oh, Yellow Jacket. No. Well, that might have been in the second movie. But in the third one, it was definitely supposed to be Kang. It was supposed to be Kang. So yeah. Yeah. Yes, Bubbles. Okay, then eat some of the peanut butter crackers. Because you're not eating 2 bananas in a day. Your mommy needs those because her muscles have been cramping up on her too. So she needs the potassium. You're not eating more than 1 banana in a day. That's why. Some what? Have you already had one out of the strawberry kiwi? If I asked your mother, what's she going to tell me? Have you had one or not? Okay, then you don't get one. You don't get another one right now. Not until everybody else has had one. Yeah, she's had one. Has Emmett had one yet? Have I had one yet? Okay, then just wait. It's just like the ice cream. You got to wait till everybody's had one at least. The one in the fridge in there? Yeah, that's fine. You can have the last one. Can you open it yourself? I didn't think so. Bring it here. I know you're getting a dad text for this, right?
What does that word say?
Hollywood? Which one?
Like the one up top.
Today. The last word? Or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
It says, how bad could it be today?
I don't know how much that one, the middle.
That one's pop culture news at random times. That's the name of the show for now. All right. You're welcome. Oh, there we go. Stop eating all my bananas. Stop. I love that, Jameson. That is great. Oh, no, they interviewed people admitting going to Disney cruises parks on loans. Oh, yeah, I could definitely see the parks. My God, with how expensive those have been. That is so dumb, though. God, that is so dumb. That is so dumb. Yeah, no. Like, yeah, no. That is really, really dumb. I saw that one on Twitter, Jameson. That one was so funny. That Vance, now that Vance announced his new kid. Yeah, I love that one so much. Landman star Mitchell Schlaggart rumored for Gunn's DCU Batman. I mean, the kid's got the physique for it, no doubt about it, and he's about the same age as he's close enough in age to Corn Sweat for it to work. But this is, I mean, it's just he's throwing everything in there. Frank Grillo back shooting Man of Tomorrow 7 weeks after he wrapped. So yeah. Posted a new Instagram story from the tarmac at Atlantis airport this week, writing, showed up in Atlanta to finish Superman, and this was waiting, over a shot of a double rainbow arching of a delta. The soundtrack naturally was Elvis Presley's Pocket of Rainbows. Nice guy. Interesting word of choice. Finish. There you go. CBN covered at the time. Grillo announced he's wrapped back on May 28th, posting nothing but love, wrapped. Called his last day on the film, said it was sad to go, and signed off with love and deep gratitude. That's a goodbye, not a lunch break. 7 weeks later, he's flying back to Atlanta to finish the movie. New Rick Flag material was written after the character wrapped, or what is shot is being redone. There you go. Yep. Blue Beetle got added back in. Guy Gardner. Oh, man. Alex Ludwig is DC as the new Aquaman. Wonder Woman may or not be filming under the name Maxima. Oh, man. A mini Justice League gang movie. Weeks after his emotional goodbye is what the process looks like from the outside. Oh, that is wild. This might be fun to do. This might be fun to do. Oh, because what else we got here? Because that'd be fun for our Batman one. Throw that in there. See what Zack Snyder says about the Dark Knight Returns movie.
Well, the good news is he's already finished the comic book. That's done. So the good news is...
Yeah, Frank Miller's Dark Knight's been done for a little while. Yeah, good joke. Good joke, Zach.
The hard work is over. Yeah. The heavy lifting, if you will. No. So, yeah, I think the answer is when they let us. Yeah, I think it's the answer. Let's see what else I got here.
Yeah, so when they let us. When they let us, we'll make the Dark Knight. So there you go. Well, Paramount's going to be a whole new world, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
We'll see what happens. Oh, this is interesting. Zack Snyder asked about Justice League 2 and Paramount at the Frank Miller event.
All right. I think, what? Was there someone else trying to break the format?
We want, yeah. We want Paramount. Let's go.
They're all fucked up, so don't remember.
I mean. All right, you guys want to... All right.
I mean, to be fair, any Hollywood studio's got a bunch of fucked up characters in it, so I don't really blame him for that one. That is great. That is great. So yeah, Justice League 2 and Paramount. Oh man, a jab at DC, right? They're all characters over there. All right. There's fucking, what the hell was that? Oh, the trailer down here. There's Ben Shapiro saying, I love the Odyssey. Please, mainstream media, accept me. Stop trying to please the New York Times. Nobody gives a shit. University of Silicon Valley offers scholarships for rare gaming achievements. See if you guys got any of these. What do we got? Elite gaming skills. You mastered the world most players never finish. Now your persistent strategy and systems thinking can earn you up to $15,000 a calendar year at USV. Broken into each category, perfected for any player. In MMORPGs, you have old school RuneScape, World of Warcraft, and Elder Scrolls Online. Dead Cells, Slay the Spire, and Hades are great options for roguelike genre. So what are we going on? For crazy challenges, they have sections like Souls games, yada, yada, yada. Okay, each genre is broken down into 2 tiers, Legendary or Mastery. Mastery tiers offer up to $2,500 per team and includes challenges that typically have a 1 to 5% completion rate. Legendary offers up to $5,000 per term and usually focuses on the ultra-rare achievements that require 500 plus hours to complete with about a less than 1% completion rate. The Max Achievement Scholarship recognizes students who have demonstrated extraordinary mastery, persistence, and system thinking through completion of rare and demanding achievements in digital gaming environments. This merit-based scholarship rewards the same qualities that drives academic excellence, disciplined practice, strategic problem solving, and the pursuit of mastery beyond minimum requirements. Okay, given this is a Silicon Valley school, but holy cow, let's just say severely desperate for students to sign up. Or just understanding that, hey, busting your butt at video games shows just as much dedication as busting your butt at grades. I don't know, but that's fascinating. That is fascinating. Sadex 2112, what up, buddy? Says nerd. What's happening, guy? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I saw this post on X. I should easily qualify. I've platinumed Elden Ring 3 times on Xbox, PS4, and 5 versions. The other from softs as well. Well, there you go, Sadix. Get you some money for school. Get you money for school. Go to University of Silicon. Get you one of them degrees and do something cool with it. Oh, I like that idea. I like that idea. That is great. That is so ridiculous. Yeah, Blue Beetle's going to be in James Gunn's overstuffed DCU, Adventures of Man of Tomorrow. Marvel moves publishing operations to Burbank in massive shakeup and names new editor-in-chief. Yeah, it's probably just going to get worse. It's probably just going to get worse. Oh, yeah. The oldest gamer says need more of the third Captain America. Thor and Captain America, the real one, and far less of Susan Storm, Yelena, and Shuri. I mean, that's fair. Okay, and this I love. And the only reason I brought this up, and somebody remind me to bring this up on Thursday, because we're going to do the Constantine movie on Thursday. And Rachel Weisz was awesome in the Constantine movie. And I know she's excited to come back for the second one as soon as the merger's done, and we can get that one done as well. But she was asked if James Bond should remain a male role. What our lovely and beautiful Rachel Weisz say? Let's find out.
Tell me about bringing this to the screen again. What made you want to tackle this in this way?
I'm just a fan of the original Cronenberg film. I just always remembered it. It always haunted me. And so I think one day I was thinking about, wouldn't it be great to do a TV show about sisters? And I went, oh, what if? And then that was the idea. It was just basically so I could play the roles.
I love that. She's like, I just wanted to play the role, so I came up with an idea for a script. I can respect that. She's a good actress. Yeah, Thursday, Sadix. Handy News will be here. It'll be me, Handy, Sunker, and hopefully Tiny, as long as she's feeling good. We'll be doing a watch party and review of Constantine on Thursday. That'll be great.
Have a great philosophical, political treaty on it. It was just like, so I could do it.
I love that you did this in a female perspective. Perhaps it's time to do that with more. Would you like to see the time that we did see it with female James Bond? Would you like to see that? Who would be that?
Definitely not. That's a male character written by a man for a man. No.
Okay.
No, I have no personal interest in that, but if somebody else does, that's great. But yeah.
I love that. She's like, if somebody else does it, it's great, I guess. I'm not going to do that. That is a male character written by a male author for men. This is why I love this woman. This is Hollywood wifey material right here. This chick gets it. And I respect that so much. Rachel Weisz, you are absolute pleasure. You are an absolute joy to all of us in Hollywood out there. And I am so excited to review Constantine on Thursday and check out your fabulous, absolutely fabulous performance in that. So you are a fabulous lady. And I am so glad you were legit about that question. I am super proud. She's like, no, it's a character written by a man for men. It's a male role. And that's how it should stay. So shout out to Rachel Weisz for understanding that James Bond is a male role. And yes, she is very accurate about that. That is great. And yeah, it's written for men. It's written for a male audience. What happens when you try to make things for a female audience that have always been for a male audience? It fails. And Rachel gets that. Shout out to Rachel. I love it. Shout out. I love it. She's like, oh, you can just see it in her eyes. This stupid question. I know, Sunker. Good to hear the nerd squad's growing. Yeah, Sunker never left. Sunker's been on Doctor Who every single Sunday night since we started it, pretty much, except for a few times where she's missed. But yeah, Thursday night you'll see Sunker. Sunday nights and Thursday nights, and then Friday nights, me, Griffin, and No Green Rocks, founder of the Legion of Memers. No Green Rocks, watch, it's two Christians and a Jew watch The Chosen. That one's really fun on Friday nights. That's every other Friday night though. So yeah, that's what we got going on right now. That's a good time. And then I'll be on Toasty's show next Tuesday. That'll be a good time. I'll be on Toasty with the Mosties show next Tuesday. All right. I got a tinkle, and then we're going to cut this Superman movie, boys and girls, because it's got everybody in it. The Superman video, it's got everybody in it. All right, I'll be right back. All right. Let's get this article pulled up. These articles pulled up here. Let's throw that one in the mix too. All right. That'll work. All right. Yeah, we got to cut another video. This is Common Nerd. Should be on her way home from work, so we need to get at least one more video cut. Oh gosh, I don't know what Sunker sent me, but it says that those delicious ankles. I don't know what she's talking about. Oh, it's fucking what's his face. She's still stuck on the Andrew Tate getting arrested thing yesterday. I had to give her a little time after this first episode of Doctor Who to rant about that and show a few things off. She got a really big kick out of that. So yeah, I thought that was funny. All right. Let's do this, boys and girls. All right. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things right through a common sense lens. And man, oh man, I've talked about this before. I am a DC fanboy. I always want to try to be as optimistic as I possibly can about what's going on in DC because I want these characters to be taken care of. I want them to be well done. And I was a little cautiously optimistic when James Gunn initially was brought in to start over and kind of take over with the DCU. I like the initial casting, a lot of things, but it's been kind of rough since then. Financially, things have not gone very well at all, and obviously we all know that Warner Brothers is getting ready to get completely and totally bought out by Paramount Skydance, which of course will include all of DC. There are a lot of reports about there as to what James Gunn's future might end up being after the merger comes out. Will he stay? Will he go? Will they keep him? Will they let him go? Well, boys and girls, it looks like James Gunn is in a desperate attempt to do something, either to literally throw absolutely everything, including the kitchen sink, into his Superman Man of Tomorrow movie in a desperate attempt to hopefully make that movie succeed at the box office and either at least hold on to his reputation in Hollywood or keep on to his job after Paramount becomes the new bosses over there. Or he seems to be trying to get every friend or at least associate in Hollywood a paycheck that he has because of any of these reports and or rumors, or now this actual official confirmation about the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie. It'll be even worse than the last Superman movie as far as being nothing more than a mini Justice League movie and a Superman in name only movie, because not only do we have a whole buttload of people being added to the quote-unquote Superman movie, we also have our wonderful Frank Grillo actor confirming that he just got done with more reshoots months after the Superman movie allegedly had wrapped shooting. So how much are they going to change? What is going on with all of this? And how bad does this kind of spell doom for our Superman movie? Well, boys and girls, we're going to check out these articles from cosmicbook.news, show you some of the crazy things that are going on, as well as some of the fabulous folks out there that are being added to this movie in a desperate attempt to either have James Gunn keep his job or get all of his friends paid like he's been seeming to doing over the last few years. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share it with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, check out the links or the buttons down below, boys and girls, because I am your working poor content creator, and I could not do this without every single one of you. So if you'd like to support, check out all that fun stuff down below. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, from cosmicbook.news. Does this worry fans? Does it worry that Superman might be in a shambles? Does it worry that we're trying to cram every single possible character into this movie? I'm a little worried. Frank Grillo is back on Man of Tomorrow, the same movie he said goodbye to 7 weeks ago. The Rick Flag Sr. actor posted a new Instagram story from the tarmac at the Atlanta airport this week, writing, "Showed up in Atlanta to finish Superman, and this was waiting," over a shot of a double rainbow arcing above the Delta terminal. Hey, that's a pretty cool thing right there. The soundtrack, naturally, was Elvis Presley's Pocket Full of Rainbows. Gotta love that. That's a beautiful thing. Sounds like our Frank Grillo might be a pretty fun Instagram follow out there, boys and girls. Nice sky. Interesting word choice, though. Finish. Well, let's see what we've got here. Because as Comic Book News, CBN, covered at the time, Grillo announced his wrap back on May 28th, posting nothing but love, wrapped, and confirming on video it's a wrap on Rick Flag and Superman Man of Tomorrow. He called it his last day on film, said it was sad to go, and signed off with love and gratitude deep in my soul. That's a goodbye, not a lunch break. 7 weeks later, so over 2 months now, he's flying back to Atlanta to finish the movie, meaning either new Rick Flag material was written after the character wrapped or what was shot is being redone. Now, that's one of the interesting things. Now, obviously, this doesn't necessarily equate to massive reshoots. We don't know exactly when he showed up in Atlanta. We just know when he's leaving. He could have been there for a week. He could have been there for 2 days. He could have been there for a month. We're not sure. If he'd been there that long, though, I'd imagine we probably would have seen something else come out of it. So it could just be for some simple reshoots. No big deal out there whatsoever. But as we always like to friendly remind you guys, why we go back to Matt and Cosmic Book News so often out there is because of their rumor mill sources that have been so insanely accurate over the last few days. And because we know things like our dear sweet Blue Beetle has now been confirmed to be in James Gunn's overstuffed DCU adventure Man of Tomorrow. So we know at least that is going to be added in there. We also know that Landman star Mitchell Schlaggert is rumored for Gunn's DCU Batman. And honestly, the kid's a really good actor. I loved him in Landman, and he's definitely got the build, and he's about the right age to be a counterpart to David Cornsweet's Batman. But we've already got the Matt Reeves stuff going on, which is part of the reason why all of that's been delayed. Plus the fact that Matt Reeves is just basically waiting for James Gunn to get out of the way so he can do his thing and have the full kind of runway for his movie. But this is another one of those things that if this is true, right, it's just another example of another superhero James Gunn is desperately attempting to shove into this movie to give it some kind of relevance, especially after the massive flop that was Supergirl, boys and girls. That's a video for another day, but needless to say, it is probably going to end up being the worst flop in the DC history, boys and girls. And yeah, you remember Birds of Prey? I know most people don't based on the box office. Both fit exactly what our insiders have been describing. Per our exclusive reporting, the Man of Tomorrow script was Frankenstein together from previous ideas, with James Gunn shooting Marvel style off a loose outline, which is how the film keeps bolting on DC characters mid-production. And we've seen how well that's worked out for Marvel over the last 5 years, now haven't we? The receipts keep stacking. Blue Beetle got added back in. Gunn is teasing Guy Gardner from the set. Wonder Woman may or may not be filming under the name Maxima. Literally, Gunn is teasing absolutely everything he possibly can. I can't tell if it's to get all of his friends paid or desperately trying to keep his relevance as the head of DC Studios. Maybe hoping that he greenlights enough projects and they'll have to keep him around at least for a little bit longer. Does that mean maybe he's already called Kevin Feige and Kevin's like, I don't really have a job for you right now? Or is he just trying to get all of his friends paid? Either way, I don't know, but it doesn't spell anything good for Superman Man of Tomorrow, and David Cornsweet deserves better, boys and girls. He absolutely does. And the latest rumor is Alexander Ludwig as DCU's new Aquaman, boys and girls. Really? Another one as well? And I mean, given Ludwig's, like, I saw some of the pictures for this. I think Ludwig's not a bad casting choice on this at all. We could totally see something like that, right? But at the end of the day, how many damn characters are you going to cram into this movie, James Gunn? You got complaints about Superman all over the place, that it had way too many characters, that there wasn't enough Superman screen time. And as per usual, what does he do as being a Hollywood true to the soul kind of guy? Ignores the audience and doubles down and makes it even worse. And all of that, all of it in what began as a Superman sequel and is now, per our sources, a mini Justice League gang movie. Yay! That's exactly what we wanted from our Superman movie, wasn't it? You know, despite anybody's complaints about Snyder, you know, at least if he was going to cross over characters, they told us in the title, right? Wasn't that nice? Yeah, Gunn wanted Batman in the pile too. Our insiders have Alan Richardson as the front runner for his DCU Dark Knight, with Landman star Mitchell Slaggert as the newest rumored name. He would be Mitchell Slaggert would be a lot cheaper. As far as I know, he's only really been in Landman. Alan Richardson's been in some stuff that's been popular for a while as well. The standoff over the character is why the Batman Part 2 got pushed to February 2028 while Matt Reeves waits him out. A cast member returning to shoot more weeks after his emotional goodbye is what the process looks like from the outside. If you want to know where first shoot script later leads, look across the aisle to Avengers Doomsday. We've talked about this. If you want to know more, go check out my latest video covering the latest trailer from Avengers Doomsday. We give you a history on a lot of that kind of stuff out there, but go back and look at our older videos if you want in-depth analysis on all of that kind of stuff, because we have broken that down. That thing is an absolute mess, and even Kevin Feige himself has admitted to the problems behind the scenes. Gunn spent years promising DC would be the anti-Marvel. No movie greenlight without a finished script. Man of Tomorrow is being made the Marvel way. I mean, that was nothing more than lip service he gave us when he first took over. And ever since then, it's been absolutely the direct opposite, boys and girls. So the casting's already got look at all of these people in here already. Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, right? Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Cat Grant. But all of this stuff. Matthew Lillard's going to be here. And Zola Mendola as Blue Beetle. Adria Arjona as Maxima. I mean, just over and over and over again. So anybody that thought the Superman movie might actually figure out its nonsense and be just a good, solid Superman movie and not a, hey, let's cram every single possible character we can into this movie film, I apologize and cheers to all of you out there. Because that is clearly not what we are going to get with James Gunn in any way, shape, or form. And honestly, why should we be surprised? Outside of Byrne, I'm not sure Bright, I'm not sure what this guy has done as far as a solo character and it actually been successful. It's like he really is nothing more than a one-trick pony at this point, right? Peacemaker, group movie or group television show, Creature Commandos, team show, right? Batman, the first movie, we had Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific all over the place, plus Hawkgirl, right? And everything else going on with that. We had Crypto all over the place, right? Not all that much Superman in the Superman movie. And now we're looking at the exact same thing all over, boys and girls. I mean, Supergirl at least mostly got her own movie, which of course we know why that is now, don't we, boys and girls? Because James Gunn and Hollywood's never going to truly get over wham in power. After all, but needless to say, this is where we're at. This is what they're sitting with. This is the disastrous dumpster fire that they have found themselves in, and James Gunn is desperate to make this movie relevant in any way he possibly can, whether that's shoving your favorite character in there, teasing the actual Marvel Trinity, as in Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman inside of the movie, whatever it is. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at it. And one way or another, a bunch of people are going to get paid for getting paid a paycheck for a movie that's probably going to turn into a disastrous dumpster fire. And what makes me upset about this the most is not only are the fans getting screwed over, but this casting for these characters, the actors that they picked for a lot of these roles, I would say for 99% of these roles, are about as spot on as you could possibly ask for. Outside of David Cornsweet being forced to get smaller from how big he got for the actual shooting of Superman, it's spot on. It's incredible. And the worst part is these actors are going to potentially get screwed over, and their legacy as superheroes inside of the DC universe gets screwed over, all because James Gunn's own ego couldn't get out of the way. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sad thing for all DC fans everywhere. Because although we might end up getting to see some of the Snyderverse back, these actors that absolutely deserve these roles and were great at embodying these characters are going to get screwed up, all because a little narcissist, egomaniac, James Gunn, couldn't get out of his own way to let characters be what they actually have always been to all of the fans and what we've known them to be in the source material, and have to force his own personal agenda and nonsense right into the middle of a movie. And guess what? Fans are going to decide what happens to this. And if it ends up being just another little mini Justice Gang movie like what we saw with the last one, this one will probably end up doing even worse than the first one. And boys and girls, if you can't make Superman sell at DC, exactly what are you doing with your life? And James Gunn, well, we got this funny feeling you ain't going to be doing much with your life at DC anymore. And after all, it's exactly what you deserve. Because the fans certainly deserve better. Whee! There you go. Oh, sweet Moses, that thermos. I got to get one. Yeah, so my wife and I got into a bad habit a few months back of going to the gas station in the evenings to get a soda. It's just kind of something to do to get us out of the house and run around for a little while. And I was tired of buying cups from the damn gas station, just throw them away. I hate wasting stuff. And so we were looking around for refillable cups, but none of our gas stations in our neighborhood, except for one, had refillable cups. And it was our Circle K. And this was the only size refillable cup they had. It's the only one they had. So you got to go to Circle K to get one of these Polar Pops. So yeah, they don't like the Stripes and everything else around here. Don't sell them. Don't sell much. So. But yeah, the wife got a delay of work today, so her hours aren't great right now. So that's why your memberships and your donations are so important, boys and girls. But yeah, before she went to work today, she had to go in she had to be there at noon. Before she went into work today, we went up to the gas station and filled up some stuff because we got a couple of the kids that are here at the house too as well. So. Birds of Prey. Don't remind me. I know, right? This movie sounds like it'll be ridiculously overstuffed. It probably will be. It looks like it's going to be. I don't mind seeing more Hawk Girl now. Hell no, me neither. She's a good looking woman. She's a beautiful woman. She absolutely is. Now, like I said, I love the casting. I love the casting for most of these roles. You know what I mean? Outside of Perry White being black, which even then, whatever. That one doesn't bug me all that much. But, because the actor still did a great job in the role. But like, yeah, it's like, no. Just no. There you go. There you go, Miss Chloe. Now you know. Yeah, you want to know why they're thinking about Alexander for Hawkman or for Aquaman? There you go, Miss Chloe. Look at your screen. You're gonna want to see this if you're still here, Miss Chloe. You're gonna want to see that. All right, there you go. But yeah, no. Hawk Girl was she's a beautiful one. She's an absolutely beautiful one. Oh, there you go. Well, there we go. All right. Should we cut another video or should we just jump to some prime time and do that? Let's find out there. Excuse me. Yeah, Perry being black was eye roll worthy, but Lawrence did a good job. 100%. Yeah, I 100% agree with that one. Yeah, it was definitely eye rolly, and like it was like, oh, color us shocked there. God forbid Perry White be white. And so yeah, that one did not surprise me at all. And yeah, like I said, yeah, and you're spot on. You're spot on. He did a great job. The guy did a great job, so I did not mind at all. Especially him and Lois's relationship. My God, that was great. That was so good. That was so good. I did not see Blue Beetle. I heard it was all right, is what I heard, was that it was all right. I did not see it, though. I did not see it. Yeah. We got to get our memberships up to about 200 before Common Nerd can go and watch every one of these horrendous movies for you guys. If we can get our memberships up to 200, I will start going and seeing every single one of these movies and reviewing them for you guys, though. Because then we could do it. So, no, Sadix, I would say it's not worth a watch. If I haven't bothered with it, you probably shouldn't either. Jameson says he enjoyed Blue Beetle. So, hey, there you go. That's saying Jameson said he enjoyed it. So maybe it's worth a watch. It was PG, cute, but enjoyable. All right, there you go. Oh yeah, Kevin Feige being stupid. That was the other article, video, movie we wanted to do. Yeah, that's the other one we wanted to do. We got to do this one.
How much time in therapy have you spent talking about Blade? This poor project. We just need to get this done, Kevin. How are you doing?
Therapy. Should we get into a therapy session?
Yeah, lie down. I mean, we all want it. Mahershala wants it. How are you feeling at this moment?
I'm feeling very excited that we got Wesley back for a time in Deadpool and Wolverine, and like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala.
Is there a world where Secret Wars is 2 films?
Not this world.
No. Okay. Doomsday sticking to its release date?
Yes.
Definitely. Okay. What does the MCU look like in a nutshell coming out of Secret Wars? Is it a
Okay, I don't need any of the rest of that. Got to refuel to get that to start, but I love that. Now he just admits he's an idiot. That is not my Josh Horowitz. I love it. And Sadix is fair point. There you go. Yeah, we got to do this one too, because I want to do this one. I definitely want to do this one. And then we'll wrap it up. I should be just in time for the missus to get home. I was pretty close to it. We'll see. Oh, crap. No, I take that back. The missus just checked out the kiddos. All right, we got to bang this one out quick. All right. Lord be with me. Let your spirit flow. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Jesse with Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things through a common sense lens. And I, like many Marvel fans out there, absolutely love the Wesley Snipes Blade movies out there. I know people have a few issues with the last couple of ones, but I enjoy the whole overall trilogy out there. And when Mahershala Ali, I apologize, I always butcher his first name, but when Ali first got announced the fact that he was going to come on as Blade, I was really excited. I love the actor. I think he's great. He was awesome in the 4400. He's got the perfect look for it, but that movie went through absolute production hell, ladies and gentlemen, between the scripts getting thrown out, between the firings of the teams and the rebringing other people back. It has been an absolute disastrous dumpster fire. Well, Kevin Feige is on the press tour right now for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Obviously, that movie's looking really good. A lot of fans are super excited about that, but of course, the questions are coming out, and I love the fact that the Hollywood Reporter simply cannot leave this alone, because he was asked about the Blade movie, and I think a lot of fans are going to completely and totally agree with his sentiment on this one. Kevin Feige feels like a gigantic loser, ladies and gentlemen. That's not me saying that. That's not you saying that. That are words that came straight out of the horse's mouth itself, boys and girls, and Variety themselves could not help but report on this. Kevin Feige on Marvel's failed Blade reboot. I feel like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala Ali. I apologize, boss. I really like that guy out there. I apologize, buddy. But yeah, it's literally one of them situations where, yes, and this also confirms that Blade is canceled, that this movie is not coming out, boys and girls, because he says that we didn't get off the ground. Not even that it's still in work, that the movie's over. It is not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So that is absolutely insane. That is absolutely crazy. And those are the juicy details, plus the video we're going to show you here in just a minute. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below later. What do you think about this? Do you think Ali deserved better? Does it surprise you that Kevin Feige's actually admitting and doing a little self-deprecating about how much of a loser he is that he couldn't get a simple vampire hunting movie done? Let us know anything relevant in the comment section down below. And of course, I am your humble working poor content creator, boys and girls. So if you'd like to support the channel, please check out all those fabulous links and buttons down below. All right, from our dear sweet Zach Sharf over at Variety.com. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is expressing disappointment over the failed Blade reboot that was supposed to star Ali as the legendary vampire slayer. Speaking on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Feige put it bluntly. We'll get to it all of that as well. Let's give you a little background and a little history. Marvel originally announced its Blade movie with Ali in July of 2019. Basim Tariq was the first director to join the movie, but he exited in September 2022, roughly 2 months before it was set to begin shooting. Now, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been a long time subscriber of this channel, of our content, and you go back into our archives that are that old, you will see that this is all stuff we covered from all of the reliable sources that Matt McGloin has. This is something that we knew was happening behind the scenes long before Kevin Feige ever admitted any of this stuff publicly. The thing was an absolute mess. The original script that they gave Ali had him being replaced by Blade's daughter before the end of the movie. Yeah, and apparently had nothing more than a couple of lackluster fight scenes. Basically a lot more of the kind of Loki stuff we saw in season 2, with everybody just sitting around talking about their fifis. Yeah, that's exactly what Ali clearly did not want from a Blade movie, and obviously the fans didn't want it either, so that did not work out at all. Several screenwriters came and went during development. From the Watchmen scribe Stacey Ocean Kafur, from the Watchmen television series scribe from HBO that was a disastrous dumpster fire and gave us our Black Dr. Manhattan for some reason because his girlfriend was a racist and couldn't date a white guy. I don't know. To Michael Stanbury. Yan Damage stepped in as the movie's director after Tariq's exit, but Damage ended up dropping out in June of 2024. Variety reported in November of 2023, about a year after Matt did, that Blade had gone through at least 5 writers. One person familiar with the script changes that the story at one point morphed into a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. Boy, that's a Blade movie you just want to hear. That's not the rumor mill from all of our trusted sources. That's Variety confirming what we talked about a year before they ever even touched on it. Speculation at the time was that Marvel was still looking to make the film, but on a budget of less than $100 million. Marvel Studios officially took Blade off its release calendar in fall of 2024. So there's your backstory on the absolute production hell that the Blade movie has been on. Like I said, Kevin Feige couldn't get a simple vampire hunting movie figured out because it all had to be wham and lead and be about your fifis. Yay. So how does Kevin Feige feel about this? Well, we'll let him tell you himself.
How much time in therapy have you spent talking about Blade? This poor project. We just need to get this done, Kevin. How are you doing?
I mean, just need to get it done. Yeah. How hard is it to come up with a script about a vampire hunter killing vampires? Like, I honestly think the biggest problem with this is Kevin Feige is just so desperate to make sure every movie he produces ties into his overarching story that he just couldn't allow a Blade movie of, I don't know, Blade just going into a town, finding out that a coven of vampires has taken up shop and are and you're going after the town. He can't just come in and just clean house and just take out a vampire coven. Boom. Less than $100 million, probably less than a $50 million movie. Easy peasy, done. Make you $600-700 million at the box office. Easy, done, finished. Couldn't do that. Could not get that done. I hope he's gone through therapy on this. I hope he feels like garbage through this, because you have to be an absolute moron to not be able to pull that off and not get that worked out.
Therapy. Should we get into a therapy session?
Yeah, lie down. I mean, we all want it. Mahershala won.
Yes, please lie down, Kevin, and never get back up again. Or at least find something else to do with your life.
How are you feeling at this moment?
I'm feeling very excited that we got Wesley back for a time in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, got to push on to the highlight, which once again is another massive failure, because why you haven't greenlit a Wesley Snipes old Blade movie, just like we had the old Logan movie, like the old Wolverine Logan movie, I have no idea, other than the fact that once again, he just can't help himself. It could have been all on its own, little one-shot thing, just like the Deadpool and Wolverine stuff has kind of been up until the third one, right? No. Couldn't have that either. I mean, you're literally talking another $1 billion movie out the gate. Nope. Can't have that, can we, Kevin Feige? So how does that make Feige feel? Well, I think the same way the rest of us think about him.
And like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala.
Is there a world where Secret Wars is 2 films?
Yeah, a giant loser. A giant loser. Notice he didn't give a follow-up question to that anymore at all. Jumped right into Secret Wars, and he says it's not going to be 2 movies. I'll believe that when I see it. We'll see what happens with the next movie. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree, you have to be a pretty big loser in Hollywood. I mean, this guy's been in Hollywood for like 30 years, right? You couldn't figure out a vampire hunting movie? Are you serious? Like, that's one of the most cheap, bare bones, basic movies that we've been making since literally black and white Hollywood, right? Back when they were doing them on shoestring budgets that wouldn't have paid for a house at the time, right? And you couldn't pull that off. Yeah, Kevin Feige, you're a giant loser. And I'm glad you finally admitted to that, because it's true and it's sad. I mean, the box office over the last 10 years tells you everything you need to know. Since Kevin Feige essentially got rid of every other person that had any kind of say or influence inside of that studio, it's been nothing but garbage, right? Our dear sweet Jon Favreau is over there working out the last of his contracts at Lucasfilm, maybe potentially desperately trying to actually save Star Wars and turn it around. I have no idea. But he's gone. Most of the other guys that kept Feige in check about budgets, they pushed them all out or got them fired, right? So all he's got surrounded by him now is a bunch of yes men and nobody that can actually accomplish and get things done, which is why he had to go back to Robert Downey Jr., which is why he had to go back to the Russo brothers, because none of the directors, writers, or any of the stars over the past 5 years post-Endgame have succeeded, have worked. They've all failed miserably. And it's because they actually got through with the ideas that they were trying to do to the Blade movie. And honestly, boys and girls, it's just so nice to hear Kevin Feige finally admit what we've all known for years. He's a giant loser. He sucks at his job, and it'll be an absolute miracle if there is any semblance of the MCU left in a decade after what he's done to it. And guess what? Ali deserved better. The fans deserved better. Blade deserved better. And honestly, Kevin Feige, you're going to get exactly what you deserve, because you're right. You're a biggest loser, and your last Hail Mary is Doomsday coming this December. And if you can't make an Avengers movie crack $1 billion globally, well, I certainly don't think you could have ever made a Blade movie work. And honestly, it's probably better for all of us that you never did. It just sucks because the fans, Ali, and Marvel as a whole deserve better. Unfortunately, until things change, we're stuck with Kevin Feige, and we're not even going to get a halfway decent Blade movie until Ali is probably collecting Social Security, because that's how much of a loser Kevin Feige is, boys and girls. Whee! Not bad, 11 minutes. Not bad, 11 minutes. Not bad at all. Dr. Black Manhattan, I didn't hear about that one. Wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what one of the other people that they brought in to save the Blade movie was responsible for. 100% on that one. Just make John Carpenter's vampires, but with Blade's character. Not that hard. 100%. I love John Carpenter's vampires. That movie is great. I've watched that one several times. But yeah, no, you're exactly right. It's a vampire story. All you got to do is have the guy run around and kill vampires. Like, it's not rocket science. It's really not. Y'all are just retarded. They just can't get out of their own damn way. Sadik says, at this point, I'll just rewatch Snipes' Blade movies. And if I'm in the mood for something new, I might finally give that Blade House of Chthon a watch. Hey, there you go. That's the animated one, right? We actually did a rewatch on Is It Good not too long ago. Like, what, last year? Sometime last year, of all the Blade movies. Because I wanted Sunker to watch the whole trilogy. Because she's one of those that hates the third movie. And then after she rewatched it with us, she's like, okay. It's fun. She's like, but it's dumb. It's fun, but it's dumb. I was like, that's all I wanted. I'll take that. That's all I wanted. It doesn't suck. It's dumb, but it's fun. It's dumb, but it's fun. So yeah. All right, boys and girls. I think we are going to wrap up our regular time over on YouTube and everywhere else, and we're gonna do some premium time over on Rumble. So if you're a premium member, or if you're a member of the channel over on Rumble, you are a subscriber of the channel over on Rumble, you guys will get to hang out and stick around and ask Common Nerd a bunch of questions, and while I edit some videos and get this stuff up and ready to go. So I appreciate you guys. Read by Nature, Miss Glow, John Washburn, Angie, Furious Dan, anybody else out that might still be lurking and listening over on YouTube, Jameson, thank you very much for hanging out over on Pilled and holding all that down. You've been a blast. And that would be it. I don't see anybody else on anything else other than Rumble. So Sadix, if you're not going to hang out for that one, if you're not a premium member or whatever, I appreciate you, buddy. I'm going to try to be live for some Windrose tonight, but I can't promise anything. Vacation Bible School started this week for the kids, and Mrs. Common Nerd and or I have to drive Bubbles over to the church every night this week. And she has to be there by like 6 or 6:30. So we might be kind of busy this evening. But we will be back Thursday, guaranteed, for Constantine and Handy and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to try to squeeze something in. So it might be late night. It might be late night tonight. We'll see. It might be late night. We'll see. All right, boys and girls. I appreciate you. I love you all so very much. It's Jesse with Common Nerd. I bring you pop culture and all things dirty through a common sense lens. God bless. I love you all. And I will catch you guys later. Hopefully this evening. If not, in the next couple of days, I will cut some videos and have some shorts out for you. So enjoy that. God bless, and we'll see you guys later. Enjoy the credits, boys and girls. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Oh, glory be to God. Girls, ladies, and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you smash that like and subscribe or follow button, depending on what platform you're on. And, of course, a big shout-out to all Andrew and members. Hold on. You are the grease between our gears, keeping this machine running. Andrew! Range 20 over on Twitch. Sorry, buddy. I don't normally see folks over on Twitch. Come on, how can you fumble a Blade movie? 100%. So Ant-Man can get a movie greenlit, but not Blade can't. Nope, you're 100% right, buddy. Sorry, Andrew. I just saw you over there. I don't normally see too many people on Twitch. So good to see you, Andrew. Appreciate you. Sorry I caught you at the end. Hopefully you're still here. If not, hopefully I'll catch you next time. So I appreciate you. All right, back to credits and wrapping up. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Andrew. Thank you, buddy. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like and subscribe or follow button, depending on what platform you're on. And, of course, a big shout-out to all of our subscribers and members. You are the grease between our gears, keeping this machine running. And I could not do this without every single one of you.